strong leg getting set to boot it away. Iowa won the toss, elects to receive, and so the Hawkeyes will start on offense for the 58th time in 60 games under Kirk Ferentz. It's an incredible stat. Ed Hinkle about 7 yards deep in the end zone. The Hawkeyes will take it out of the 20-yard line. And there is the Hawkeye quarterback, Drew Tate, just a sophomore out of Baytown, Texas. Coach Ferentz points to his intangibles, leadership, especially as his strong suit, coming off his best day at Michigan. 270 yards passing, couple of touchdowns, but 2 interceptions in a game at Michigan where the Hawkeyes turned the ball over 5 times. They lost 3 fumbles in that game. Straight I formation for the Hawkeyes to begin with. Tight end in motion, Jackson. Play action, Tate comes up with a little swing pass to Jackson right through his hands, incomplete. The skilled position players surrounding the sophomore signal caller are led by the acrobatic leading receiver, Ed Hinkle. He makes spectacular catches.
Right tackle Pete McMahon is the only Hawkeye to be named captain for every game this season.
2nd down and 10 for the Hawkeyes. Tate, another quick drop. Hinkle on the flank. And the tackle made by Jaron Hayes. Along a physical defensive front for Michigan State, Ryan Clifton, he's the most consistent performer up front. The linebacking core features the talents of former running back Tyrell Dortch, who overcame a devastating leg injury suffered 2 years ago to Wisconsin.
Roderick Maples is the best cover guy in the secondary, but he plays with a very aggressive style that can be beat with a good play action pass.
3rd down at about 3. Drew Tate. Good catch. 1st down. They go to the big tight end, Scott Chandler. He's an H-back type. His younger brother of Nathan Chandler, who played quarterback here. Tyrell Dortch made the stop. Gain of 6, and the Hawkeyes move the chains on the opening drive of the game.
Nice pass by Tate, but an excellent catch by Chandler there. He's a converted wide receiver, and as you said, Wayne, they use him mostly in that H-back position. He's got great hands.
Tate comes up throwing again. And ushered out of bounds is Warren Holloway. Roderick Maples had the coverage on a gain of about 7 yards.
Drew Tate is just a sophomore, and Iowa's had 5 new starting quarterbacks each year over the last 5 years. He's the only one that's doing it as a sophomore. The rest of them have all been seniors. So not only do they have a young quarterback, but he's got that inexperience, and so far he's done pretty well.
2nd down. And a little jumpy on the defensive line for Michigan State. Let's see if they were drawn off.
Prior to the snap, offside, number 91, defense. Made contact, 5-yard penalty, result of the penalty, 1st down.
So the problem on Michigan State gives Iowa and Kirk Ferentz a 1st down. 6th season here at Iowa. What a job he's done with this program. Napa keys to the game. Brought to you by Napa Auto Care Centers.
Well, for Iowa, they need to control the speed of the game. They want to control it on offense and on defense. Not let that Michigan State spread offense dictate the pace.
Chandler in motion on 1st down. Tate rolling out. Hinkle is open. Close to the 1st down inside Michigan State territory to the 47-yard line. Jaron Hayes responding in the secondary on the stop for State.
Oh, Drew Tate does a nice job here coming off of his main target, which is the tight end in the flat. He's got plenty of time to look downfield. Good play action here. His first option is to go in the flat. It's not there. He's got enough presence, comes off that guy, has the patience, finds a secondary receiver. That's a nice mature play there by a young quarterback.
Hawkeyes haven't run yet.
Well, they've struggled all year running, only 85 yards a game.
I guess so. Here comes Jermel Lewis. No, he struggled just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe got enough. He got about a yard for the first down to the 46-yard line. They just have not been able to get the push up front. As a matter of fact, Ben Gates, the offensive right guard, not starting today. Brian Ferentz moves into that spot. Brian has been slowed by knee problems.
When you would think that's the weakness of this Michigan State defense. Although they have seniors up front, they have been injured. They haven't practiced a lot. They have no continuity up there. So you would think Iowa would have some success running the ball.
3rd and short. Lewis has a sliver of a hole and breaks a tackle. Into the clear. To the 30. To the 20. No one will catch him. Touchdown! 47 yards for the Iowa Hawkeyes. You pointed out they're only averaging 85 rushing yards a game. Well, they got more than half of it on that play.
Well, we talked about the injuries Michigan State's had in the defensive line, and that time it was well blocked at the point of attack, a missed tackle here and there, and Jamel Lewis turns in a big run, and if they can get this running game going, that's the best thing you can do to help out a young quarterback, and a lot of success on this first drive there with that play.
Longest run from scrimmage in his career. Jamel Lewis, the senior from Bloomfield, Connecticut. The extra point is good. Season-long run for the Iowa Hawkeyes, capping a 7-play, 80-yard drive. Jamel Lewis paid her down the sidelines, and the Hawkeyes break on top. Jamel Lewis accounted for 47 yards on the drive. 5 passing plays, 2 running plays, but that last running play netted the touchdown. First of the season for the senior Hawkeye, Jamel Lewis. Picks up at the 10. Got a nice break. It bounced right back into his breadbasket, and he's out across the 15. Another look at the 47-yard scamper moments ago to put the Hawkeyes on top.
Wayne, take a look. The fullback is right here in front of Lewis. He's going to come over and kick out, but at the point of attack there, look at the Michigan State players that are unblocked, but yet they don't make the tackle. There's a kick-out block. 2 guys right there in the hole, unblocked, have to be able to make that tackle.
And once Lewis got to the edge, he's kind of a soft-spoken young man. We had an opportunity to visit with him yesterday. Very quietly confident in his abilities. 1st and 10, Michigan State down by 7. Quick toss to the corner, and to the sidelines, I really should say. Matt Trannon on the reception. Drew Stanton is the 3rd Spartan to play at quarterback this season. He has solidified the position in the last couple of weeks. He's a running threat, Randy. Last week at Indiana, rushed for 134 yards and accounted for 306 yards of offense in the come-from-behind win by the Spartans.
As you said, Wayne, the 3rd quarterback to get a start this year. He's just now starting to get into a rhythm and get a feel for the position, and we're already in the 5th game of the year.
Well, they made a measurement on the far side, and it's enough for the first down for Michigan State. Matt Trannon, we'll talk about him in a little bit. He started to come on in the second half of the ballgame. Michigan State has good receivers, but they've been plagued by drop passes this season.
That was the strength of this offense, was the receivers, but because of the drops and the inconsistency at the quarterback position, they haven't been able to take advantage of them.
Jason Teague meets the mid-portion of the Iowa defense. The skill position players feature one of the Big Ten's tallest targets. You just saw him catch a pass a moment ago. 6'6" Matt Trannon. He tied his career high with 6 receptions at Indiana last week.
Center Chris Morris is outstanding in the middle. He's as good a run blocker as he is a pass protector.
Gain of a yard, 2nd and 9 for Michigan State. Stanton over the middle and through the hands of the intended receiver. Greenway had the coverage. Let's take a look at the Iowa defensive line as Jeremy Scott cannot hang on there. The Hawkeye front, one of the top defensive ends of the nation, is senior Matt Roth. He ignites this team. In the linebacking core, Abdul Hodge, Jack Greenway are the 2 most productive linebackers in the Big Ten.
Free safety Marcus Pascal moves over from strong safety to start for the injured Sean Considine today. 2 young sophomore safeties for Iowa. A big concern today.
3rd down and 9. Stanton lots of time, but the officials had held it up anyway. Dennis Lipsky is our Big Ten official.
Timeout, Iowa.
Ooh, the Hawkeyes called a timeout. I didn't see a flag.
That's their first charge timeout.
Hawkeyes.
That timeout request was made prior to the 25-second clock running out.
12 men on the field for Iowa. That's why the Hawkeyes called a timeout before the snap of the ball. Back in Iowa City after these messages. Sidelines for Michigan State, the head coach in his second season. Meanwhile, his Spartans facing 3rd and 9 at the Michigan State 29. Jeremy Scott again in motion. Hawkeyes with their dime defense on the field. Pass is tipped at the line, incomplete. Looked like Tyler Lupke or Derek Robinson got a piece of that. And it's 4th down, Michigan State.
Iowa doing a nice job, Wayne, of keeping Stanton in the pocket. He's very dangerous when he gets outside the pocket. He's an outstanding runner. If they can keep him in the pocket, Iowa doesn't think Stanton can beat him with just his arm.
Brandon Fields has a big leg, leads the NCAA in punting at 49.5 yards a kick. Gets off a line drive kick here. Ed Hinkle. Very returnable kick out across the 30, close to the 35-yard line. Back to the studio, Mike Gleason. Mike?
Wayne, in the ACC, North Carolina down at Florida State. The Seminoles go 81 yards. Here, the big one, Leon Washington. This is a 4th and 1 play.
The guy that's having a good game down there is Wyatt Sexton, the quarterback, in his first start. 6 out of 7 for 49 yards.
Wayne?
I didn't think Florida State ran the ball. I thought all he did was pass it down there. No, I guess not.
Well, without their starting quarterback, Chris Ricks, they may have to rely on that. That means 3 times a game, not once.
Okay. First down coming up for the Hawkeyes, who lead 7-0 here, early going first quarter. And the Hawkeyes take over at their 34-yard line. Tate to the air quickly. Catch made, fumbled, and they're going to rule it incomplete. Tyrell Dortch made the recovery. The catch by Clinton Solomon, but he didn't have it long enough, apparently. Jaron Hayes made the hit.
Well, take a look. The ball definitely got knocked out wide open. You got to get this ball into the body. It's there, and tough to tell from that angle, but certainly should have been held onto by Solomon. Don't know if he had the possession.
The Hawkeyes have had a couple of drops here in the early going.
Well, and when you look at why both offenses are struggling, generally it comes down to lack of execution, and both these teams involve that passing game as a part of their offense, and they haven't been able to pull it off.
2nd and 10. Little screen pass, Jermel Lewis. Nice cutback move there. Out across the 40. Got about 8 yards out of that to the 43-yard line. Harmon in from the secondary to make the stop for Michigan State.
Wayne, one of the things that the Iowa coaches told us about Drew Tate is he does everything fast. He drops back fast. He makes quick decisions. He throws the ball fast. He needs to learn a little patience. That last play is a perfect example. A screen play takes time. You need to let it develop. He got rid of that ball a little quickly. Didn't let the lineman get out in front of the back.
3 receivers set. 3rd down and 2. Tate, decisive throw. Ooh, nearly picked away. My goodness. I'll tell you something. If Jason Harmon was a split second quicker, he would have been gone for 6.
A decisive throw, but not a great throw. The ball thrown behind the receiver, and you're right. Harmon almost gets over there and could get in front of that ball. Look how quickly Tate gets the ball, looks to the left, needs to make a better throw, get that ball out in front of the receiver. Nice job by Harmon getting up there and knocking it out.
David Bradley, the senior out of San Diego, California, on punt formation. His numbers this season. Just did get that one away. Great coverage by the Hawkeyes special teams led by Walner Bellis. And he buried Kyle Brown. 41-yard punt, no return. John L. Smith in his 2nd season at Michigan State. Outstanding head coach. Turned around the program at Louisville. Before that, had coached out west.
Wait, take a look at Michigan State's key to the game. Their quarterback, Drew Stanton, has got to be as effective with his legs as he is with his arms. He needs at least 75 yards running the ball today and 200 passing, I think, for Michigan State to have a chance.
Nampa brings you the keys to the game each week. Stanton on the keeper. Marcus Pascal made the stop. There's a look at Stanton. Now, this is what he does through the air. But, Randy, the dimension that he offers, and we talked to Norm Parker, the Iowa defensive coordinator, about this, is that even if it's a naked shotgun, they've still got a running back back there because Drew Stanton is like a running back in terms of his production on the ground.
The best thing they do, they can go 3 wide receivers, but still have the 2-back system when you look at Stanton's ability to run the ball.
Come back pass play. Deandra Cobb trying to weave his way through traffic, and he may have lost a yard on the play. Lubke sifted over from his defensive tackle position to make a hit on the play. Abdul Hodge in the neighborhood as well.
Wayne, when you're going to get rid of the ball that quickly on the wide receiver screen, you have to have somebody blocking in front. The linemen don't have time to come in, and the timing on that play was off, and that's something that's plagued the State offense all season.
3rd down, Michigan State. From the Spartan 22. Quarterback draw all the way. Stanton's got a 1st down and more. To the 31-yard line of Michigan State, 1st and 10, and therein lies the danger that Norm Parker talked about. They spread you out defensively, and then the quarterback finds a crease and gets 9 yards for a 1st down. A beautiful sun-splashed afternoon. Kinnick Stadium, Iowa City, Iowa. Crisp and cool. Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Beth Mowens. Great to have you with us. Iowa, 14 in a row in these environs. 1st and 10 for Michigan State, trailing by 7. Lots of time. Brown makes the adjustment, and it's broken up incomplete. Javon Johnson may have gotten a piece of it to knock it away from the Michigan State receiver.
When you saw the time Stanton had back in the pocket, it's easy to read this coverage when you spread the offense. If you give Stanton this much time, he's going to be able to pick the open receiver. Went to the right guy and just made a poor pass. Brown was a good 2 or 3 yards behind the defender that time, and Stanton underthrew him.
2nd and 10, Michigan State. This is Teague. Nice run off the right side of the offensive line, out close to the 40-yard line. Matt Roth on the defensive line got over to make the stop. Only score of the game happened to the 1st drive of the game for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Jermel Lewis on 3rd and short.
Well, finally, Iowa gets a big play on the ground this year. They came in with their longest run being 34 yards for the season. That's unreal for an Iowa offense to only be able to run the ball that far, that ineffectively, and they got it going early here. Now the defense needs to make a play.
Michigan State is 11th in the conference in 3rd down conversions at 25%, and Jason Teague will not get this one on 3rd and 2.
A big problem, Wayne, when you run that spread offense is when you get into short yardage goal line situations, your offensive line, they aren't used to firing out and really playing tough, mean football, and they struggle sometimes when they get into those 3rd and shorts, and we saw it right there.
There was a day at Michigan State when 3rd and short was a given for 1st down. They were just going to posterize you, just plow over you with that big offensive line. But you're right, a little bit different now. Line drive kick carries into the end zone. Brandon Fields, plenty of leg. Iowa will start out at its 20-yard line. 60-yard punt. They're happy in Iowa City at the moment. Kirk Ferentz looking on from the Iowa Hawkeyes sidelines. Both these teams, Randy, very similar in that they've had trouble putting things together offensively. Iowa on the ground. Of course, Michigan State has played 3 different quarterbacks this season. They've been plagued by inconsistency on their team as well offensively. Drew Tate got into the open field. A little different than Stanton. We've got 2 Drews here. They both wear number 5, and one can run very well, and the other one throws it real well. And you just saw the one that throws it real well make an awkward run for 5 yards.
You won't often get them confused.
Yeah.
Wayne, back to your earlier comment about both offenses struggling this year. Generally, you can go right to the quarterback position, and some instability there. They're young, they haven't played before, and it's going to take them a while to get into that rhythm. And once they do, then the offense defenses will start to produce better.
2nd and 5, Iowa at the Hawkeye 25. Holloway, the man in motion. Tate looking that way. Incomplete. Penalty marker down. Holloway was being tied up by Roderick Maples at the 35-yard line.
Maples a very good cover corner, the best and the most aggressive in the secondary, and sometimes he can be a little too aggressive, and that time a lot of contact. Well, before and while the ball was in the air.
Pass interference, number 17 of the defense. That's a spot foul. Result of that foul is an automatic first down.
So John L. Smith's team now has Iowa out near the 35 of the Hawkeyes. They'll be contending with that.
Well, we talked about some of the injuries on Iowa offensively, and a lot of that has been in the offensive line, and you're seeing how it's affecting the play calling, not giving Drew Tate a chance to drop back 7 steps, 9, 10 yards, throw the ball downfield. All of his passes so far, shorter underneath stuff.
Tate over the top. Had Solomon and overthrew him just a little bit. Randy, you mentioned the Iowa quarterbacks. It's nothing new for Kirk Ferentz, now in his 6th year here at Iowa, to have a new quarterback, to start a season with a new quarterback. But there's a big difference when that quarterback's a sophomore instead of a senior.
Huge difference. Those seniors, they've played before, whether they were junior college transfers or whether they had seen everything at the practice time or gotten in a reserve role. When you bring in a sophomore like this year with Drew Tate, he doesn't have that practice to rely and fall back on, so it's a totally different concept.
Tate's already thrown it 9 times today. Mickens is the lone setback, and Tate's going quickly. Little bubble screen here to the wide receiver. Solomon out across the 45, close to the midfield markers, got a first down. Clinton Solomon, another tall receiver. He goes 6'3", a junior out of Fort Worth, Texas, gets 14 yards there, and David Herron makes the stop.
Nice job by Tate getting the ball in front of Solomon. By doing that, he gets the ball in front of him, and he hits him in stride, and this allows him to turn upfield quickly. Those are such timing plays. Just a little thing like that makes a big difference.
Tate off play action, the deep drop. Takes it himself into Michigan State territory across the 50-yard line. Brandon McKinney, the big defensive tackle, jumps him after a 3-yard gain.
Where no question, Iowa came out today wanting to throw the ball.
Yeah.
As you see that play, though, with Drew Tate, not comfortable sitting back in the pocket and letting things develop. It was one of the biggest things that the coaches said he needs to work on, is know when to have patience and when not to, and that just comes with playing and experience.
Calvin Davis, the receiver, at the top of the screen. Good speed. 2nd down for Iowa. Tate again. This time Tony Jackson missed tackle. First down Iowa inside the 35. 14-yard gain. Bazemore made the stop for Michigan State. This week's passing combinations are brought to you by Cargill. We collaborate, create, and succeed with our customers.
You see that 2002 year, everything went right for Iowa back then.
Ken O'Keefe, he had a senior quarterback, Brad Banks, Dallas Clark, who would eventually become an NFL wide receiver. We saw that 95-yard catch against Purdue here in Iowa City. Comeback pass, Solomon gets a blocking. And the Iowa passing offense beginning to turn it upfield now. Inside the 25 to the 23-yard line of Michigan State. Gain of 11 yards.
Wayne, Iowa's just using this wide receiver screen. Take a look at the block. This left tackle right here is going to come out and he's just going to flatten the cornerback. He sets his feet, comes out. Now watch him hunt up Roderick Maples and just knocks him straight back.
You know, Randy, some of these passing plays we're seeing basically are running plays.
Just another way to get the ball to the outside. When you're struggling running the ball, you want to have a high percentage ball control kind of passing game.
At least that's what they always say in the West Coast offense. Some of our short passes are like runs, like this one. Jermel Lewis, and Iowa continues on the move. Gain of 8 down to the 15-yard line. Bazemore makes the David Herron on the stop. Time now offer the Red Roof Inn Red Zone proficiency. Save at Red Roof Inns with Red's hot deals and special discounts you only get online at redroof.com.
Wayne, take a look here. 15 chances, but only 7 touchdowns. Direct reflection of the lack of a running game.
Had 3 field goals, a missed field goal, 1 interception, 3 losses on downs. And Tate rolling out. Has a man out there, Jermel Lewis, if he wanted him. Now the throw into the end zone. Got another man, Ed Hinkle. Touchdown, wide open, back of the end zone. You saw Tate celebrating just a moment ago with Jermel Lewis, saying, hey, listen, I knew I had you, but I had something better downfield, and indeed he did. Ed Hinkle with a touchdown reception.
Nice job by Drew Tate, taking his time and letting that play develop. He had Jermel Lewis in the flat, looked as though he was going to cut up and run, and Lewis even turned to try and block, but Tate showed the patience, stayed behind the line of scrimmage, and let that play develop, and it resulted in the touchdown pass.
Extra point is up and good by Kyle Schlicker. And the Iowa Hawkeyes through the air, much of it through the air, have a 14-0 lead on Michigan State. Randy?
Wait, take a look. This is Hinkle down here. He's going to come up and come all the way across into the back of the end zone. And Tate does a nice job. You see the fake right there. He's looking into the flat. Sees he doesn't have Lewis. Lewis then turns up almost to block, thinking he's going to run. But Tate has the patience to let Hinkle come all the way. A great job that time by Tate, realizing the first man's not open. I don't have to run. Keep my eyes down the field, and things will open up.
This is the difference. We talked about quarterbacks. Some are running quarterbacks, run first, pass second. This quarterback here is a pass first, run second quarterback.
And Tate runs to buy time and let things develop, where Stanton, when he decides to run, it's to get the yards, tuck the ball under the armpit, and let's get what we can.
Tate has come out very impressively here this afternoon. Latest Iowa scoring drive. 8 plays, 80 yards. Deandra Cobb has returned 4 kicks for touchdowns in his career. This time out across the 20 to the 24-yard line. Today's Big Ten game is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. For the best parts, people, and prices, we are ready in advance. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right. By Volvo. Volvo for life. And by Bank One, home of maximum strength checking. Member FDIC. So the Hawkeyes, a couple of scoring drives here as we head into the later stages of this first quarter. Big homecoming crowd, very happy at the moment. Michigan State needs to get things on track offensively. 1st and 10, Stanton. Trannon had it on his fingertips. He may have been looking upfield for Jovan Johnson, the cornerback who had coverage near the 30.
Wayne, certain times you can throw the ball up the field. Other times you need to hit that receiver right in the body, and that was one of the throws. Stanton's got to get that ball into the body of Trannon. Little 6-7 yard hitch like that. Receiver knows he's going to get hit. Make it an easy catch for him. Nothing really going for Michigan State right here. They haven't developed any rhythm offensively.
Stanton on the keeper. Got a couple of yards at the 26-yard line. Hawkeyes, after watching that tape from Indiana, the second half of the game at Indiana last week, pretty much ready for this quarterback, it seems like. Derek Robinson made the stop.
Well, the strength of this Iowa defense is in their front four, especially with Matt Roth and Jonathan Babineau. But their linebackers run very well, and they can cover up for some of the open spots up there.
Norm Parker up in the press box. He came up here this morning, had asked one of the attendants, where's the coach's box? He's never been up here. 3rd down. Stanton has time. High pass. Trannon can't hang on. Incomplete. Between defenders, Johnson and Pascal Greenway in the vicinity as well. And it's 4th down, Michigan State.
Well, back to Norm Parker. He's just coming back. He missed a lot of time this fall with health reasons, and he's just now coming back. And he came up, as you said, he's got to be in the press box for a couple of weeks, and came up and had no idea where the coach's box was here.
He's a sideline guy. Brandon Fields punt. Here comes Ed Hinkle. Great cutback. Penalty mark marker down maybe for a face mask. Hinkle goes down close to the midfield marker. Hawkeyes might start in better field position than that. 47-yard punt, but a 21-yard return.
Well, this could be the big 15-yard face mask, too. Hinkle clearly was grabbed by the mask and turned. It was released quickly, but yet it looked like that turned. I would be surprised if this isn't the personal foul 15-yard mark off right here.
Dennis Lipsky and his crew talk it over. Tom Quinn, by the way, is our technical advisor up here in the press box. He is in charge of replay. Replay does not come into play in a situation like this.
Don't know they're going to need it for this.
Nope.
They are discussing a little bit longer than what you may think, though.
I think they're discussing whether it's a flagrant personal foul or if it's just an inadvertent face mask. Oh, they're calling a clip on Iowa. Personal foul face mask on Michigan State. Well, that was the discussion.
Well, the clip was very early on the far side of the field. There's the clip. You see right there's the clip coming, and that happened very early. Take a look on this return by Hinkle. Face mask is going to come in right there. Boy, that's a dangerous thing, too. You saw Hinkle turn all the way around. There you just see the back part of the clip right there. And now you'll see the face mask at the end of the play.
And David Herron in that high tackle attempt. Yeah, he got the face mask.
It's going to be a big break for Michigan State here. Is if these are offsetting, they may have to go back and punt this ball again.
They're talking with Kirk Ferentz right now and John L. Smith. They're going to re-kick.
I think that's what the call should be. Well, offsetting penalties, go back and redo it.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Clipping on the return team. Personal foul, face mask on the kicking team. The return team has elected to replay 4th down.
Yep. 4th down coming up as they'll kick it again.
That's a little surprising with the field position that Iowa had. They were on the 48-yard line. And Michigan State's got a very good kicker, so that's a little bit of a surprising call right there to go back and make them re-kick.
And again, Brendan Fields leads the NCAA in punting, gets off a shank of a punt here, and this one caroms across the 50 out of bounds. Near the 45-yard line, Iowa will get great field position once again to start the drive. To the studio, and Mike Gleason.
And Wayne, we head south. First Tallahassee, Lorenzo Booker breaks one for 13 yards. Keep in mind, Wyatt Sexton, the quarterback, 10 of 11 for 79 yards at this juncture. And so the Noles are on top 14-3. Florida just scored on the Hogs at 7-0 from the Swamp. Wayne?
Thank you very much, Mike. And right here, 14-0 Iowa. 1st and 10. Not sure if Fields got that punt partially blocked or not. It may have been.
Looked like it could have, and he's an outstanding kicker. He doesn't kick many that short.
Tate going deep, going for it all downfield, and it's incomplete. Pass intended for James Townsend. Roderick Maples had him covered like a glove, and that pass came up woefully short.
Seen a couple of the plays here lately when Iowa's been on offense, trying to stretch the field a little bit. They've had a couple open receivers deep. That time didn't complete the ball, but if they get Michigan State thinking they can go deep as well as short, that'll open up a little bit of the underneath passing game as well, maybe, as the running game.
It ends a streak of 5 straight completions for Drew Tate.
Well, they're going right after Roderick Maples, too. He is their best cover guy, but as we said, he'll bite on a good play action and let guys get behind him.
Jermel Lewis. Not much there. David Herron came in from the secondary to make a hit on that play. Jason Harmon was also there.
Wayne, you just feel with the flow of this game, Iowa has dictated everything. They've slowed it down on offense. They've speeded it up. They've played aggressive on defense. Somebody from Michigan State needs to step up and make a play and get something going in a positive direction for them.
They're on the road. They're trailing 14-0. Late stages of this first quarter. At But the linebacker, Ronald Stanley, down to the play, and he is heart and soul of this Michigan State defense. Stanley's the best player, the guy that the coaches told us holds this defense together.
Boy, the best player, as you said, the captain of this defense. He leads by example, and he is the heart and soul, and he's one that you never want to lose any players, but he's one they could ill afford to lose for any length of time.
So Stanley heads off pretty much under his own power with minimal assistance. Hopefully he'll be back for Michigan State. Meanwhile, the Spartan defense without Stanley now will face a third down situation. Eric Andino goes into the lineup for Michigan State in place of Ronald Stanley. Stanley, a senior from Saginaw, Michigan. Third down for the Hawkeyes. They spread the field with a 3 wide receiver set. Drew Tate in the shotgun. Here come the Spartans. Lots of time. Got his man over the middle. Good coverage. Holloway covered up near the midfield marker. Good sure tackle. Jason Harmon was there along with the linebacker Eric Andino, who just checked in.
Well, nice play though by Jason Harmon. He is a senior, played a lot of ball for these Spartans, and he is one of the sure tacklers on this defense. Comes up, makes a nice hit there, and tackles him short of the first down, forcing Iowa to punt here. And that's what you need from your defensive leaders. You got to make a play, change something up here.
Just did get away this punt, David Bradley, and a fair catch signal made early, and the catch completed by Kyle Brown at the 20-yard line. Coming up next Saturday on many of these ESPN Plus stations, the Indiana Hoosiers and the Northwestern Wildcats from Evanston. Mike Gleason, John Cooper kick things off from the ESPN Plus College Game Day studio. Indiana Northwestern next Saturday. Check your local listings. First and 10 coming up for Michigan State. 4 wide receiver set. Stanton, a little light toss. Jeremy Scott on the flank. It's about 5 yards. So the first quarter winding to a close. Chad Greenway, the productive linebacker, made the stop for Iowa. Antoine Allen also on the flank as well. It has been a very productive first quarter for the Iowa Hawkeyes, who have a 14-0 lead as we head into the second quarter. So a break for both sides and a break for us as well. Sun-splashed 54-degree afternoon in Iowa City, Iowa. And the big homecoming crowd painted up, ready to go as the Hawkeyes and Spartans do battle in the heart of America. Larrabee, Randy Wright, Beth Mowins, welcome back to Iowa City. Not much to cheer about for the Michigan State fans yet. Their offense second down at the Michigan State 25-yard line. 2nd and 5. Stanton, lots of time. And should be enough for the first down as it gets to Jason Teague. The storyline, it's been all Iowa, and it started on the ground, surprisingly enough.
Surprising is right here. Jamel Lewis, a nice breakthrough of the tackle attempt right there, and then just speed into the end zone for the longest run of the season for the Hawkeyes, but it hasn't all been on the ground. Drew Tate comes back, the second touchdown, this time through the air on a very nice play. Iowa's controlled everything today so far.
Michigan State did not get a first down on that last play. Third down for the Spartans. Here's the quick toss, knocked away beautifully. Jovan Johnson, all right, beg your pardon, the other cornerback, Antoine Allen, made a great play around Matt Trannon, timed his lead perfectly to knock the ball away. It's 4th down.
Boy, Antoine Allen did a nice job of looking into the backfield, seeing that Stanton was going there right away, and then he makes an excellent break on the ball, giving up a huge size advantage to Trannon, 6'6" versus Allen. It's only 5'10", but Allen made a nice play.
Brandon Fields just did get that one away. This one comes up fairly short as well and rolls to a stop inside the Iowa 40 near the 36 or 37-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Hawkeyes. Just a 35-yard punt by Brandon Fields. The quarterback comparison, 2 sophomores, 2 number 5s, 2 Drews, and a big difference in their numbers. By the way, Stanton's been plagued by 3 drops in this game by his receiving corps for Michigan State.
That's been the problem all year for Michigan State, is those drops. And Tate and Iowa, they've come out throwing the ball. They threw it early and they've thrown it often. And if you continue to have success, I would expect them to keep doing that.
And they will. Drew Tate, oh, nicely done. Jermel Lewis down the sidelines into Michigan State territory to the 36. We talked about the fact that Stanton is a running quarterback, Drew Tate is a passing quarterback, but the thing Tate has, Randy, is very good feet keeping these plays alive.
He scrambles to buy time, not necessarily to pick up yards. What we are seeing is a little bit of the development of Drew Tate and the patience that he's starting to have and picking the spot to have that when he's scrambling around. That's the 2nd time here in this game in the early going where he's really shown some poise, let the play develop, and then turned it into a big play.
Jermel Lewis, the senior, down on the play, just made that 28-yard reception. Now, Iowa, you know, they've lost 2 of their top 3 running backs to season-ending injuries, Marcus Schnorr and Albert Young, to knee injuries. Jermel Lewis and Marcus Simmons. Simmons is a junior college transfer who's seen some limited duty here today. Let's see if we can pick it up here, Randy.
Well, take a look at the pressure right away, and Tate scrambles out of it, and then the Michigan State rushers fall over themselves. Nice patience that time by Tate to play an over-under there with Ronald Stanley. As Stanley comes up, drops the ball over. Now look at the hit late here, right? It didn't really look like a contact hit with Lewis, but he grabs his knee right away as soon as he goes down. Take a look at the end of this play here. As Jermel Lewis goes down, the hit's going to be high, but his knee gets twisted up underneath him. His right knee is what it's going to be. Gets twisted up, and watch him grab that knee right away. That is not good for a team that is already at this position lost 2 of its backs. With Jermel Lewis going out now, Marcus Simmons comes in. Wayne Simmons has 8 rushing attempts this year.
So Lewis has a seat on the bench, and he's been a big man in Iowa plans today. Drew Tate back to work. Number 33, Marcus Simmons, the running back, now behind Tate. Straight I formation. Tate going to the air, to the sideline, to Simmons, and it's intercepted. Intercepted in the deep secondary by Jason Harmon.
Harmon is having an excellent game in this early going. Read the eyes of Tate the whole way. Tate gave a little pump fake, hoping to pull the safety up and the corner up. Harmon didn't bite on it at all and ran under, caught that ball like a receiver did.
And Jason Harmon stepped down at the 2-yard line of Michigan State.
Take a look right there. If you're going to pump fake, you got to keep your eyes on that safety. If he doesn't bite, you can't just throw the ball up for grabs here. Harmon did a nice job catching the ball and keeping that foot in bounds.
So 1st and 10 for Michigan State. Spartans coming out of their own end, and I mean deep inside their 2-yard line.
A rare 2 tight end formation for Michigan State. This offensive line has got to take the ball on their shoulders here and force that Iowa defensive line off the line of scrimmage.
Stanton, the long count. Jason Teague breaks a tackle, gets out to the 5-yard line, gain of 3. Abdul Hodge put him away. Homecoming here at Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City, Iowa. Beautiful 54-degree, crisp and cool afternoon. Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Beth Mowins. Nice to have you with us, our entire ESPN Plus crew. There's the time of possession, heavily in favor of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
And they have used that to finish their drives. They put points on the board with that.
2nd down. Teague, tough yards, short of the 10-yard line. Abdul Hodge again piercing through from the linebacking core. So it'll be 3rd down for Michigan State. And their defense, as we showed you a moment ago, has been on the field much of this first half. It's up to the offense, Randy, as you said a moment ago, to get a couple of first downs here and at least get some field position back.
They need to take control of the tempo of this game. That's how they play the best, and they haven't done that yet.
Third down. Stanton on the roll. Eric Knott, the tight end. Did he get the first down? It appears that he did, just across the 10-yard line to the far side.
Well, Wayne, it looked like he had the first down clearly, but then when the ball came out, it pushed the ball backwards, and now it may be close to whether he has it up. There's the signal right there. He had a couple extra yards.
You know, I thought the ball came loose a little bit. He had his back to us. Watch this play again.
Stanton does a nice job of getting his head downfield quickly so he can see the receiver. Now he's got the first down. There's the ball that came backwards, but still enough yardage gained by not that time.
That was a textbook cornerback hit by Javon Johnson to trigger that thing loose.
These corners are outstanding for Iowa. They're good cover corners, and they will come up and support on the run.
Naked shotgun. Stanton over the middle. Got a man open, and a sliding catch out across the 30-yard line by Terry Love, redshirt freshman, Bellwood, Illinois. Miguel Merrick responding in the secondary, 19 yards downfield, first down, Michigan State.
Nice catch that time by Terry Love. That's where I would expect Michigan State to have the best success throwing the ball. Iowa's got two sophomores playing safety. They're not experienced, and look at the hole right there. Rather a poor pass, but Love does a nice job going down to get it.
Iowa coaches were worried about those safeties because Michigan State shows you so many different looks and personnel groupings. The fake to Teague. Here comes Drew Stanton. He's got a first down out across the 40 to the 44-yard line. And Michigan State beginning this drive back at their 2-yard line, now driven out to the 44-yard line.
Their offensive line doing a nice job of opening some holes back on the goal line for the running backs. And now they're doing a nice job of opening it up for their quarterback, Drew Stanton, as well.
First and 10 for the Spartans. 5 receivers set. We got Iowa's defense spread. Bubble screen. Kyle Brown hit hard at the midfield marker by Miguel Merrick. Let's get down to the sidelines. Beth Mowins. Beth?
Well, guys, Drew Stanton showing some good mental toughness getting his team out of a jam there. That's something that he had a lot of time to work on during his rehab from a knee injury at the end of last season. He said, basically, I worked on my mental fitness when I couldn't do anything physically while I was waiting to get that leg back into shape. That has certainly served him well in their quarterback battle this fall, and it appears he has won the starting job. Wayne?
You know, Stanton suffered that knee injury on special teams during their bowl game against Nebraska. Not many quarterbacks play special teams. Spinning move by J.U. Colcrick. He's the redshirt freshman. Miguel Merrick makes the stop. It's a first down for Michigan State on a 6-yard gain. There's a look at Drew Stanton, and we mentioned he was talking about it. You know, last year, someone asked him, well, what were you doing playing special teams? He said, well, we had a lot of injuries. We needed some help on special teams, so I tore off the red shirt, jumped out there and helped out, and then suffered a knee injury that plagued him throughout the offseason.
And the knee injury is bothering him now more mentally than physically. The coaches think he's come back for it. He just needs to get it clear in his mind that his knee's 100% healthy.
Blitz coming. Oh, good call against the blitz. Here goes Stanton. Inside the Iowa 30, down to the 27-yard line. Pascal and Johnson on the stop. Aaron Alexander made a nice hold block on the far side of the wide receiver.
Generally an excellent call defensively to bring the blitz against this kind of a play, but Stanton does a nice job of letting it develop. The crossing guards that are pulling pick up the blitz nicely, and you saw a huge hole there for Stanton.
15 yards worth from the 27-yard line of Iowa. Jason Randall, the big tight end, in motion. Stanton throws a strike to Jeremy Scott. Scott gobbled up on the corner by Marcus Pascal. The Iowa Hawkeyes suffered a knee sprain, did Jermel Lewis, their starting running back, in his return for today, at least doubtful. They've got it wrapped in ice right now, that right knee injury.
Wayne, just when Iowa's starting to get their running game going, there you see the 49 yards, 47 of it on the one play. Just when they're starting to get that running game going, though, they lose the only experienced, healthier back that they have.
So often you see injuries come at one position, and for Iowa, it's been running back this year. Stanton to the air. In the end zone, a juggling catch, and they're going to say incomplete. Kyle Brown.
When they're going to rule that by the time he had possession of the ball,
He was
his
down.
back was on the end line and therefore out of bounds.
Let's see it.
Pretty good throw here by Stanton, and a nice adjustment by Brown. So he's got it, he's bobbling it, and by the time he actually catches the ball, he's laying on the white stripe. I think from that view, it looks like a good call.
Let's watch it again. There's the juggle. Miguel Merrick tried to break it up.
Both officials right there
Right
on
on
it, aren't they?
Yep, they're right in position to make that call. Here's another one. So it is a third down for Michigan State. Now, hang on.
Well, you may get the replay now
Yeah.
coming into effect.
Tom Quinn.
Is being reviewed.
Yep. Tom Quinn made the call. We saw enough evidence from the 3 replays we showed you. And understand something, folks. This is, video evidence. It is not visual evidence, video evidence. There's Tom Quinn. He's looking over the replays you just saw. That's what he has to look at, and he apparently saw enough of a reason to make a call here. And so Dennis Lipsky will head over to the sideline to take a look at it and watch this again. Here it is.
He's got to have reasonable video evidence in order to review it. And
I'll
on
tell you
that
what.
play, I think that's a good call. I don't think he had possession of that ball when he was on the white line. It's knocked. It's knocked. He
Does
doesn't have
it right
possession.
there? Maybe not. You're right.
I don't think that this will be overruled. I think it's an incompletion. I think that's how it'll stand.
No, Dennis Lipsky, who was over on the near sidelines waiting for word from the replay official. Unlike the NFL, the official on the field does not go look into a black box and look at the replays himself. He merely waits for the determination one way or the other by the technical advisor, Tom Quinn, up in the press box.
Indisputable video evidence. I think that confirms that he was out of bounds. That's going to be a good call.
Here's a look at the ground rules. The technical advisor reviews the play. Coaches do not challenge. No limit on the number of plays to be reviewed and no timeouts lost.
Reviewing the play. The player was out of bounds. Incomplete pass.
It sure looked like a good call. I mean, you have 2 officials right on it, but also that's the type of thing you want to make sure of, and that's why you have the technical advisor up here reviewing those plays.
System works well. It was a good call. Turned out to be a good call on the field and held up in the box. Now it puts Michigan State in at 3rd and long.
The ruling, as was the call on the field, player out of bounds before he gained possession. 3rd down. Stanton on his own. Nearly lost it and lunged for that first down. Just inside the 17-yard line. Miguel Merrick made another hit on that play.
Wayne, it's so hard to defend a quarterback like Drew Stanton. When you spread the defense out like they are, you just don't have enough bodies, and it depends on who can beat their man up front to get free to make a hit on Stanton. And he is really having a day on this drive, particularly of picking those holes, letting it develop, and picking up yards.
Remember, this drive began back on the 2-yard line. And they have motored all the way to the Iowa 16 with the 1st and 10. 12th play of the drive coming up. So look at Michigan State inside the red zone. They've been effective down there with touchdowns. Touchdown production. Stanton. Not a whole lot there. May have gotten 3 yards down to the 13-yard line. Back to Mike Gleason to the studio. Mike?
Wayne, we head down to the swamp of Florida with their 2nd touchdown against the Arkansas Hogs. This time Chris Leak finds Andre Caldwell with the end around, and he puts on the afterburners. Finds 5th gear, takes it in for the touchdown. It's 14-0 Florida on top of Arkansas. Wayne?
Thank you, Mike. Michigan State threatening their best drive of the game by far. They spread the field with a 5-receiver set. Jason Randall in motion. Pass incomplete. A low throw by Drew Stanton intended for Terry Love. Merrick had the coverage for Iowa. And it's third down now, and about 7 yards to go coming up for Michigan State.
Wayne, one of the concerns you have with a quarterback like Stanton that runs so much is he gets hit, he gets tired. He's been the focal point on this drive. She said this is the 14th, 15th play. When you get hit that much, you need to come back and make a key throw. It's harder to do that. We just saw a poor throw right there on second down.
14th play of this drive. Began deep in Michigan State territory. Brown, the man in motion at the top of your screen. The pitch, Teague to the boundary side, short of the first down. Inside the 10-yard line, Matt Roth, the defensive end, who's been relatively quiet today, got over to cut that off. Here's a look at number 31, one of the top defensive linemen in the Big Ten.
Fourth down for Michigan State. No doubt to kick the field goal here. Long drive. They need to get some points on the board. They can't afford to come away without anything.
Dave Rayner has been up and down. Big Ten Special Teams Player of the Week with 12 points and 3 of 3 field goals at Indiana last week. 25-yard field goal attempt. He's 3 of 4 inside of 40 yards this season. And he's got this one to the uprights and good. So Michigan State on the board. 7:39 to go. First half. Iowa by 11. Michigan State trailing by 11, but on the board off a 15-play, 91-yard drive that took over 6 minutes off the first half clock and bought their beleaguered defense a little time. Now, the defense has stopped the Hawkeyes twice in the last 2 outings.
And that defense really needed that rest.
Yes, it did.
They were getting tired out there.
Rayner, who just added the 25-yard field goal with a kickoff. Good leverage into this kick, and it's Ed Hinkle from the 2. Hinkle denied at the 20-yard line. Good coverage by the Hawkeye special teams. Today's Big Ten game is brought to you by Polaris Ranger, hardest working, smoothest riding utility vehicle you can buy. By Pontiac, the first ever G6 arriving daily at your Pontiac dealer. And by Napa Auto Care Centers. Napa, get the good stuff. Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Beth Mowens. A beautiful sun-splashed afternoon in Iowa City, Iowa. Homecoming for the Hawkeyes, and they've got the lead 14-3 starting this drive at the 19. And a penalty marker before the snap.
Looked like Iowa jumped there. This should go against the Hawkeyes.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 76, offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
You know, Wayne, you just kind of get the feel things are starting to sway over to Michigan State. That was a huge drive they had, even though they only got 3 points. You just kind of get a little feel here sitting here with this momentum. It could be starting to balance out a little bit. Interesting that when we talked about this game with the coaches, both sides said, hey, Michigan State said, we got to get this game out of the phone booth. Iowa, they wanted to get into the trenches and mix it up with the Spartans. Simmons erased on the flank of the defense as he went to the far side. Ronald Stanley, who had the wind knocked out of him on the last Michigan State defensive stand, back into the lineup, and certainly the Spartans are happy about that. He is their leader. Boy, what a nice play that time. He saw his quickness, his ability to run to the ball. He came in unblocked, but as the back cut to the outside, Stanley right there to chase him down. Second down for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Loss of 1 on the play. Simmons, the lone setback. He's about the lone healthy back for Iowa. Here he comes. And once again, Stanley makes the tackle. Time now for a look at an Army of One brought to you by the United States Army. This was the Spartans of a year ago. 8-5 overall. John L. Smith in his first season became Big Ten Coach of the Year. Jeff Smoker led them all the way to the Alamo Bowl, where they fell to Nebraska 17-3. The last 2 Big Ten Coaches of the Year in this game. Kirk Ferentz in 2002 with that outstanding Iowa team. I love it when you read the game notes. Yeah, I like that and remember them too. Yes. That's a key factor today. I really think that's the best part of it. Third down. On the slant, the deep slant into the clear. Here comes Quentin Solomon to the Michigan State 41-yard line. Eric
last line of defense, makes the stop 44 yards downfield.
Boy, what a nice job by Brian Ferentz, Kirk Ferentz' son, pulling out from his guard position. Take a look. He's going to be right here. Dortch is going to come up and blitz. He comes out and blocks him and knocks him out, and that opens up the area for Tate to throw right over him. This is a great throw. Good timing, beautiful throw, well-executed play.
First down. Simmons running hard and ran into a wall. Smith helped from the secondary, but again, and the Spartans say they came up with a football. Ronald Stanley made the hit. David Herron came up with the ball, but the officials had whistled the play dead at the 40-yard line. Gain of a yard, 2nd and 9 for Iowa.
I don't think anybody realized the ball could have been loose there except the Spartans, and they definitely came up with it. And the officials, as you said, Wayne, called it down, and Iowa never reacted to it at all.
2nd down.
If Michigan State can continue to take the running game away like they have this drive, it will then become easier to take away the passing game when you can focus on just the one.
From the Michigan State 40. Tate, good protection. Broken up, incomplete. Well-timed hit by David Herron on Iowa wide receiver on the play. Scott Chandler, I should beg your pardon. He's a tight end. He was a wide receiver up until about a month ago.
These linebackers really starting to play. Now, that ball was out before Herron got there, but these linebackers are starting to have an impact on this drive.
That ball was thrown to the back shoulder of the wide receiver, or the tight end.
It's so hard to turn your body as a receiver to catch a ball over the middle when it's thrown behind you.
Scott's bulked up a little bit to play that position. 3rd down. Blitz coming. Incomplete. I'm not sure if Hinkle turned the wrong way and the quarterback threw it the other way, but it looked like some miscommunication between quarterback and receiver. Hinkle was looking inside, and the pass went to the outside.
It definitely was a miscommunication. Here you see as Hinkle comes back, he's turned and comes to the inside. I think that ball would have been thrown too far to the outside, even if Hinkle had come back. I just don't think that was as well a thrown ball as needed on that play.
David Bradley has placed 4 inside the 20 this season, and that's what he'll try to do here. On the 1-yard line into the end zone before Wallner is able to get there for it. Wallner Bellis, cover man extraordinaire. 40-yard punt. Michigan State starts at its 20-yard line 3 times in a row now. They've turned back and contained the Hawkeye offense. Hawkeyes by 11. Smith's Spartan defense is starting to get a handle on this Iowa offense now. They've contained it the last 3 times. And now the offense takes over at the 20-yard line, trying to get back into this game before halftime. Trailing by 11 in Iowa City. 1st and 10 for Michigan State out of the 20-yard line.
Wait, you wonder how much Jermel Lewis being hurt and out has contributed to Iowa's offense suffering. And it's a coincidence.
1st and 10 for the Spartans. Colquitt trying to get to the outside. Javon Johnson, the cornerback, came up and really supported well on that play. Back to the studio, Mike Gleason.
Wayne, down in the Swamp, Arkansas, finally on the scoreboard. Darius Howard caps off a 10-play, 89-yard drive right here, so that makes it 14-7. And it's a downpour up in Blacksburg, West Virginia, and Virginia Tech. They continue to go at it, so appreciate that sunshine right now. It's Virginia Tech up by 3 points. Wayne.
Rained all day yesterday, Mike. We paid for it yesterday, but today on game day, it is gorgeous here. 5 receivers set out of the shotgun. Love out to the 30-yard line, close to the first down. To the sidelines, and Beth Mowins. Beth?
Well, Coach Cooper and Mike Gleason made a point of talking about the combo of Greenway and Hodge, and we asked them about what makes them so special together. They're both communications majors, as a matter of fact. So what do they communicate to each other? Well, for Hodge, he feeds off of the speed that Greenway plays with. He likes to do a lot of speed training to work up his speed. Greenway, on the other side, likes to rely on the experience and the physicality of Abdul Hodge at the other spot. Guys?
Thank you, Beth. One's from Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Abdul Hodge. The other one's from a farm in Mount Vernon, South Dakota. Odd couples do connect. Jeremy Scott cannot get away from the shirt tackle of Marcus Paschal. Good play by Paschal to deny Michigan State a first down.
A big play by Paschal, Wayne. As you said, man-to-man coverage, no free safety. Iowa coming with pressure. Paschal doesn't make that tackle. That turns out to be a touchdown. There was nobody else behind him.
It's Michigan State beginning to crank it up once again offensively, trailing 14-3. Coming up on 3 minutes to go, first half. Teague able to spin away from one tackle attempt, but then the Hawkeyes flow to the football. Looks like Teague, however, has enough for the first down on a gain of 4. Merrick and Paschal, the two sophomore safeties we spoke of earlier, on the stop.
Well, you remember earlier when we were talking about Iowa controlling the speed of the game and how they came out, they dictated everything. That has definitely switched and is now being controlled by Michigan State, offensively as well as defensively. They've gotten into a rhythm. They're running a little up-tempo offense here, and it's been very successful.
Spread the field with 5 receivers. Jason Randall get motions to the near side. Bottom of your screen. Stanton spinning away for a moment was Terry Love, but it took him so long to get away from the tackle of Miguel Merrick. He was buried by Javon Johnson. Out of the 45-yard line, gain of 5. Second down and 5 coming up for Michigan State.
Wayne, when you have sure tacklers in your secondary, you can afford to play man-to-man with no free safety because the broken tackle's what gives up the big play. Iowa's secondary, they do a very nice job of, if not making the tackle, holding them up long enough, as you said.
Randy, they've been forced to play a lot of nickel all day. Stanton to the flank. Trannon makes the catch. First down in Iowa territory near the 47-yard line. Randy, we're inside of 2 minutes to go in this first half now. How does the offensive pace have to change for Michigan State to get a score out of this drive here right before halftime?
Oh, I think they've got plenty of time. They're in positive territory, being on the positive side of the 50-yard line. They've got a minute 59. Now the clock is running, but in the college game with the clock stopping with incomplete passes and with the first downs, they've got plenty of time. They don't need to rush at all. 3 timeouts left.
You saw Dave Baldwin, the offensive coordinator, in the shades. First and 10. Comeback screen. Kyle Brown. And there's another short tackle. Miguel Merrick. Well, these two kids, Paschal and Merrick, showing us a little something here today.
Well, they are, and more so in run support as opposed to the pass coverage. They do a nice job reacting and coming up.
Michigan State takes its first time out of the first half. Minute 35 to go. Spartans on the drive. Oh, they're happy. I'll tell you what, 14-3, Iowa leading, but Dave Baldwin's got his Michigan State Spartan offense on the drive. Stanton 5 for 5, passing 29 yards on this drive, and they're in Iowa territory, second down. Trying to hit Trannon. Pass may have been thrown just a little bit behind him, and that let Marcus Paschal break it up inside the 40-yard line.
When you commented earlier about the safeties for Iowa, and they're playing well, and they've been excellent in the run support, and that's where Michigan State is trying to attack Iowa in the passing game, is over the middle, forcing those safeties to make some plays. They've responded relatively well.
Take a look at this. Spartans putting it together, but facing third and long here. Here in the second quarter. 25-yard gain. Miguel Merrick made the stop downfield.
Oh, you just talked about Dave Baldwin, the offensive coordinator. What a nice call. Brings his quarterback out away from the blitz, knowing he's going to get man coverage. A nice job by Stanton throwing that ball on time, so as Love made his move, he was going to be open and the ball could get there before Merrick could close.
Now the Spartans move into field goal range. Dave Rayner's long is 46 this season. Hit a 62-yard field goal, did Dave Rayner in the spring scrimmage.
On the clock, the status of the time.
In field goal range, but plenty of time left, a minute 30 to go, and Michigan State's got to be thinking touchdown now. They got the field goal after the long drive last time they had the ball. Sooner or later, they need to get this ball into the end zone.
Well, the officials are checking on the time here. They want to make sure they've got the correct time.
5. 125.
So they want him to wind it down to 125.
125 and stop.
A little housekeeping chore.
You think it's what they mean by home field advantage?
Yeah, they're not going to play until they get to 125. There we go. All right. Dennis Lipsky has firm control of this game, all facets, as he should.
Wayne, with 5 wide receivers here, things really spread out. The quarterback gets a real good view of a pre-snap coverage here.
10th play of the drive. Stanton throws a strike. Short of the first down, but inside the 15-yard line, and they keep him in play. And again, that is Terry Love. Let's take a look at the Volvo Big Ten leaders. Kyle Orton, we saw him last week, and he was most impressive. Brett Bazinet having an excellent season at Northwestern, and Justin Zwick piloting the Ohio State Buckeyes this season. We've got a time out of the field. Winding down the first half in Iowa City. Spartans on the comeback. Michigan State on the drive as they try to get right back into this thing. Second quarter in Iowa City. Hawkeyes jumped out to a 14-0 lead in the first quarter. Again, Michigan State spreads the field. Stanton with the pump fake. Now delivers over the middle. And just short of the first down once again. And we'll have a third down coming up when we come back. Mike Gleason in the Big Ten studio.
Well, Wayne, coming up, Sonny Cumbie of Texas Tech gets a shot at Oklahoma. The question is, will that shot hit against the Sooners? West Virginia, Virginia Tech now means Big East, ACC. And I think Randy's right. Big Mo might be shifting in Iowa City.
Randy, I think you're exactly right. I love their game plan.
Coach, I agree. They're doing a nice job. When one thing didn't work, they go to another thing. And now when this is working, they've been able to stick with it. And Iowa really hasn't made any adjustments to stop it.
So timeout taken as John L. Williams gathers his troops around him. Timeout taken by the Hawkeyes. That was a first down by Michigan State on the pass play to the 10-yard line. And so now both sides will talk it over. Randy, if you're taking a look at Michigan State's situation, they've got one timeout left. You've got plenty of time now. First down and goal to go essentially at the 10-yard line. You could take a few shots into the end zone here.
Well, you don't want to score too fast, but yet you can really involve your entire game plan when you're in this situation. First down, Michigan State, use whatever they want to. They're not limited here.
Take a look at the Outback Steakhouse. Outstanding back of the game. And when you talk about any game, if it's Minnesota, you're probably talking about Lawrence Maroney. Look at this. 24 carries, 145 yards of the victory over Northwestern a week ago. And I'll tell you something, this is a double-edged sword. You've got Lawrence Maroney and Marion Barber III atop the rushing charts in the Big Ten, leading the Golden Gophers' most potent rushing attack perhaps in the country. First down and goal to go, Michigan State. Spartans down by 11, threatening to cut the gap before halftime. Iowa coming on a blitz. They picked it up well, but the pass incomplete. Getting to Stanton at the last moment may have been Derek Robinson.
Wayne, something Iowa could do here. Stanton had to take the snap under center because of the crowd, and when you do that, it throws his timing off. Look at the blitz coming right here. When he's been back in the shotgun, it's not been a problem. He can get rid of that ball quickly. When you're under the snap, you're that much closer to the line of scrimmage when you're under center.
The last scoring drive for Michigan State went 14 plays. This is the 13th play of this drive. Second down and goal to go. Teague alongside Stanton in the backfield. Iowa on a blitz. Stanton again. Hit early, keeps his feet, and spins inside the 10-yard line. Abdul Hodge on the stop, but Iowa got great penetration early. Michigan State calls a timeout here. Matt Roth also involved in making a hit on that play early. It slowed up the quarterback as he went to the right. Coming up at halftime, Mike Gleason, John Cooper in the studio. Sooners star freshman Adrian Peterson. 7 Mountaineers struggling. West Virginia, Virginia Tech, number 7 Mountaineers on the struggle. And then section starts for Quick. There's the top 10 coaches poll. USC leading the way at the moment. Undefeated's all atop there, and Ohio State the lone Big Ten team in the top 10.
Wayne, I don't know if I agree with Michigan State calling the timeout right here. It's third down. It's goal to go. They've got to score a touchdown. 48 seconds left. Why not let the clock run all the way down and then call your timeout? Because if you miss it on fourth down, you've got plenty of time to go for the field goal, and you don't want to leave much time left on the clock for Iowa. If you want to talk it over, call timeout when the 25-second clock runs down, and there's not much left on that.
Well, they're third down and goal to go at the 6-yard line. Dave Baldwin looks on, and the receiver that's come to the fore is Terry Love, redshirt freshman out of Bellwood, Illinois. 6 receptions, 100 yards in this first half.
Matt Trannon, 6'6" tall, going against a 5'10" cornerback up at the top of your screen.
Soft coverage on the corners for Iowa. Stanton under a blitz, has to throw it early. Catch made by Trannon in the corner of the end zone, and he was out of play apparently when he made the reception. Bellis had the coverage in the corner of the end zone, Randy, and you're exactly right. They went to the tall receiver, the 6'6" Matt Trannon. Let's see if he came down in bounds.
Take a look. He clearly catches the ball. Got the advantage, as you see. Hard to say where he actually had possession from that angle. This should be a better angle to look at. Where does he have possession of the ball? Well, I don't know.
That's close.
That left foot to me looked like it was possible.
Did he have possession though when that left foot came down?
Tough to say. Officials right on it, of course, called that a incompletion.
Dave Rayner for the point after. I should say, for what amounts to be a point after, it's a 23-yard field goal, and he's got it through the uprights. It is good. So apparently the technical advisor, Tom Quinn, had a good enough look at it, decided, hey, that's not worth stopping for.
Well, and he has the same video view that we have, and it has to be reasonable video to look at it as a replay, and then indisputable video evidence to overturn it. And as we could see through the same replays that we saw, nothing clear there that would have caused him to stop that play and possibly overturn.
The key word is indisputable video replay.
Take a look here again. If you can see, and we know he catches it.
Hard to tell in that replay right there, but I thought the one from the other side, this one right here, gives you an indication. Again, he'll clutch it twice. There's the bobble, latches on there, and then still, I tell you what, still coming loose a little bit, maybe when that foot gets down. Hard to tell. That's a call, could have gone either way. The coaches cannot stop the game. It's up to the technical advisor. Hard to tell on that one. What do you think?
I think it was hard to overturn. What the call was made was on the field was the one that was going to have to stand because there wasn't any video evidence that would lead you to think to overturn that. Twice, though, Michigan State has caught the ball but been past the end line there for incompletions.
Squib kick. Bobbled by one of the upbacks. Davis on the run. Escapes out of bounds inside the 45-yard line. Champ Davis, tight end, able to pick that up.
Wayne, this is why I didn't like Michigan State calling that timeout when they called it. It was 3rd and goal. They had only one more play they were going to run anyway. By calling the timeout with 48 seconds to go and stopping the clock, they ran the one play. Now they kick the field goal. You've left Iowa with 30 seconds left on the clock when they didn't need to do that.
Iowa has one timeout remaining. Drew Tate. Tate, a deep drop. Lets it go. Holloway, the reception, and he's covered up by Roderick Maples, and the struggle ensues on the Michigan State sidelines, and Maples angles him out of bounds. The officials say his progress was stopped inbounds, so that means the clock will continue to roll once they spot the ball.
And that forced Iowa to call the timeout because of that. Once the forward progress was stopped, the official blew the play dead there. The out of bounds was a non-point, so now Iowa's got to use their last timeout.
In this situation, 16 seconds ago, no timeouts remaining, and take a shot of the end zone, or you just try to set up something quick, because it's going to be hard to get your field goal unit on the field, isn't it?
Well, I think you can, if you can get a first down at least to stop the clock, you may be able to get your team up there and down it. So I think that that's going to be the call. I'm not sure you take a shot at the end zone right now. I think you try and get the field goal.
Be sure to join us next Saturday at noon Eastern. Indiana travels to Northwestern to take on the Wildcats. Mike Gleason and John Cooper kick things off from the ESPN Plus College Game Day studio. Indiana at Northwestern next Saturday. So quick out to the sidelines, get out of bounds.
I think you can certainly try the quick out or get out of bounds or let the clock scramble around. But I'm not sure, you get 7 yards, you get the first down, the clock stops.
Anyway.
You get your team up there, you down the ball. So I don't think you have to use the sideline or you have to get the touchdown. What you can't do is stop it short of the first down in the field of play.
Exactly. You have to get the first down. That stops the clock automatically as they reset the chains. 16 seconds to go. Let's see what Drew Tate has. Simmons alongside Tate in the shotgun. 4 receivers set. Everybody out for a pass. Wide open over the middle. Clinton Solomon inside the 10-yard line with 7 seconds to go. And Solomon shake it up, getting up very slowly. Harmon and Smith on the stop. 36-yard pass play. He may have gotten a hip pointer.
Well, look, he certainly is holding his hip right there. And hard to speculate exactly what it is, but the huge gain for Iowa actually would have worked into their advantage, not only with the yardage, but it takes that much longer to move the chains. Moot point now that the clock is stopped. But watch Tate scramble around a little bit. Good presence and idea where he is on the field to know far behind the line of scrimmage, scramble up, look over the middle. Michigan State's thinking sidelines, thinking you're going to get the ball out of bounds. Finds the open receiver and watch the very end. See if we can see right there's the slap at the ball, and that actually looks like what hit Solomon, and then falls right on top of it as he falls to the ground.
His hip hit the helmet and hit the helmet of Eric Smith, and that's going to be painful. That's going to be sore. I'm sure he'll probably be all right today, Randy. He'll feel that for a week or more. There, look at the numbers on Clinton Solomon. So Solomon and for Michigan State, Terry Love have been the receivers that have stepped to the fore.
Don't need to down the ball here. You could, as well, you saw Tate, but with 7 seconds to go, could have taken a shot at the end zone. Play wouldn't have taken that long, incomplete. Then you bring the field goal unit on. So, I'm surprised with the time they had to think about that they just gave away a free play. Their 7-yard line. Try a fade. It's not going to take 7 seconds.
The coaches obviously didn't want to go for that. They've got 6 seconds to go, and they're looking for the field goal here to get the 3 points they just gave up on the last drive back. Kyle Schlicker, 4 for 4 inside of 40 yards. 24-yard field goal attempt. Some movement up on the line.
It may be refused if it's against Michigan State. Iowa doesn't want to diminish this angle anymore. I'm not sure Iowa would take this if it's against Michigan State.
We don't want it. Somebody yelled, we don't want it.
Prior to the snap, offside, number 92. That penalty is declined by Iowa. It still remains second down.
I think that person you heard yell, we don't want it, was Kirk Ferentz.
Yeah, all you want to do, all that does is hurt the angle for Schlicker. He likes being further back. In fact, you'll see a lot of teams sometimes take a 5-yard penalty to improve the angle.
The punter, David Bradley, will hold. 24-yard field goal attempt. And he's got it successfully through the uprights. Randy, what you mentioned on the other side of the field, when Michigan State took that timeout a few moments ago, then tried the squib kick after the field goal, and all of a sudden Iowa roared into position as Davis, one of the upbacks at tight end, returned it into Michigan State territory. A couple of plays later, Iowa gets the 3 points they just gave up back, and now it's an 11-point lead as we near halftime.
Well, what was ending up with a ton of momentum on Michigan State's side, their last 2 offensive possessions resulted in points, a lot of yards, taking time off the clock. Now Iowa came out because of a mix-up there, because they took advantage of Michigan State calling that timeout. They get good field position to come down, steal a little bit of that momentum back.
Coming up with Mike and Coach Cooper, halftime stories. Sooners star freshman Adrian Peterson, number 7 Mountaineers. But a struggle at Virginia Tech, you would expect so. And Sexton starts for Quick. State quarterback Sexton got them on the board, and they hit some running plays we saw in that first half as well down at Florida State. The squib kick as expected, kind of a deep squib kick taken by one of the up-backs. Harmon, the safety, gets it out across the 25, just short of the 30-yard line. The first half winds to a close. Iowa leads it at halftime. Let's go to the ESPN Plus College Game Day studio, presented by Phillips 66. Welcome back to Iowa City, Iowa. A beautiful day for football. Good ball game brewing here. The Iowa Hawkeyes jumped out to a 14-0 lead. Michigan State put forth 2 of the longest possessions that led to field goals that you'll ever see in a football game.
And a couple incompletions just out of the end zone for Michigan State. The difference between touchdowns for them and field goals. That's been a big part of the game.
When we started this morning, Randy, we talked about sophomore quarterbacks, and they have been prevalent here today.
Well, the key players, they're both young and growing. Here, Drew Tate really finishing off a nice play here, deciding not to run, buying time, and making a nice throw for a touchdown for Iowa. And he has been effective, especially early when Jamel Lewis was healthy. But Drew Stanton in Michigan State, he has really stepped up too. He had to be effective with both his arm and his feet. And he's had some very nice runs, 60 yards on the ground. But he's also been able to do it towards that second quarter, with his arm as well. Both of them successful. Stanton 115 yards, really got going, and then the big 60 yards on the ground for him. Tate, a lot of the success, 212 yards in the air, but now he's got to play without Jamel Lewis, their top back. We'll see if Michigan State takes better care of Tate without that running game.
Michigan State will start on offense to begin the second half. Deandra Cobb breaks a tackle and got out to the 20-yard line. Coverage has been good for Iowa on kickoff returns today. Bank 1 first half statistics. There's a look at it. It should be pointed out that Iowa barely had the football in that second quarter of play. All but 3 minutes and 59 seconds of the second quarter was Michigan State on offense. 2 long drives.
When you look at that average yards per play, they're 8.5 yards for Iowa. They're making the big plays.
Drew Stanton, his team down by 11. They start on the ground with Jason Teague. Rugged run up the middle for about 4 yards. Chad Greenway made the stop.
Big drive for Michigan State here, Wayne, because of the way the first half ended. Michigan State had all the momentum in the second quarter. They gave it back to Iowa right before halftime. Now they get the ball here. They need to put together a nice drive and get some points on the board.
And it's 2nd and 6 for Michigan State. To the shotgun, 5 receivers set. Jason Randall, the big tight end, in motion. Stanton, lots of time. And really, the guy who came on was Terry Love in that first half of play. 6 receptions for Love for 68 yards. Edmund Miles makes the stop here. And Michigan State, a short gain, now faces 3rd down at about 2.
Love came into the day without a reception, and you're right, he has stepped up. Akeem Shabai has been sick this week with the flu and has been out, didn't make the trip, and Love has been the one that has stepped up and really played well. A few early drops by the other receivers gave him his opportunity.
First drive of the second half, 3rd down call for Drew Stanton. Blitz on. Brown cannot get away. Miguel Merrick, who's having an outstanding ball game, denies Michigan State that first down with a big hit on the flank.
Boy, this was a perfect call against this defense. Iowa coming with a blitz, one-on-one, no people in the back. Take a look here. There's nobody back there. If Merrick doesn't make this tackle, this is going to be a huge play. Instead, it was a big play for Iowa.
13 tackles for Miguel Merrick, the sophomore who got a start at safety today. This kick comes up across the 35-yard line. Kind of a line drive kick covered by the Spartans, but Iowa got a big stop. The outset of the third quarter by its defense, and now the offense takes over at the Hawkeye 33, and Drew Tate back on the field. Just a 38-yard punt by Brandon Fields, who has struggled somewhat here. Had a punt partially blocked, or so it appeared, early in the ball game, and he hasn't quite been himself.
He has not, and that was one of the questions that John L. Smith had, was Brandon Fields averaging almost 50 yards a kick, sometimes out kicks his coverage. Hadn't been the case today. He has not punted the ball near that well.
Tate on the fake to Simmons. Coming back for it, Holloway. Got a first down up across the 45-yard line. Maples on the stop, and again Tate able to buy some time, and I'm very impressed with the way he throws the ball on the run.
Well, when you're 6 foot tall, you better be able to throw the ball on the run, because you're going to be scrambling. You're going to be running around a lot. But you're right, he is very accurate. As he's running full speed, it looks like he doesn't really throttle down much to a slow run. It's a full speed run, puts a lot of power behind that ball.
First and 10. Here comes Simmons out of Davenport, Iowa. Turned back near the midfield mark. Ooh, held that football out. That is a dangerous thing to do with the defenders lurking. Eric Smith, the safety, stuck him in the hole. Gain of about 3.
Wayne, one of the reasons Drew Tate has been successful is off of that play action pass. He's been able to buy some time and get outside of the pocket. With Jamel Lewis being out and Iowa not having as much success running the ball, Michigan State may not bite on that play action as well and focus on keeping Tate in the pocket. We'll see if that's an adjustment that Michigan State makes here in the second half.
Holloway and Hinkle are at the top of your screen. They've got a tight end split at the bottom. Hinkle, the man in motion. Pitch, Simmons are going wide. Inside the 50, Simmons down to the 47-yard line, a gain of a couple of yards. Kevin Vickerson from the defensive end, or defensive tackle position of Michigan State, made the stop.
Unlike Jamel Lewis, Marcus Simmons is a downhill runner. He's not a guy that's going to juke and make you miss. He's not real flashy. He's got deceiving speed, but he likes running straight ahead. He's not a guy that moves and dances around a lot.
Simmons heads to the sidelines as Iowa changes up for this third down call. The flank. Hinkle breaking free down the sidelines. Inside the Michigan State 5. First and goal, Iowa Hawkeyes. Harmon got him out. Saved a touchdown. 43 yards downfield.
We have seen Michigan State run this play the entire game. The DBs come up, they make the tackle, 5-yard gain. Watch the missed tackle here, though. Maples a pretty good tackler. Good little move, though. The missed tackle on a 5-yard completion turns into a huge gain. Same play Michigan State runs. Better tackling by the secondary, though.
Simmons, the tail of the tandem in the eye. First and goal to the 3-yard line of Michigan State for Iowa. To the fullback, Tom Bush to the end zone. Touchdown! They just bowled it over. Bush, a redshirt freshman from Cottage Grove, Minnesota. His first touchdown.
Only a second carry of the year, and his first touchdown in Michigan State. Poor tackling on that series of plays there. They had Bush stopped back at the 3-yard line, fights his way in. Better tackling, never would have given the opportunity to be down there.
Kyle Schlicker, the kick. First career touchdown for redshirt freshman Tom Bush, and it puts Iowa in command early going third quarter in Iowa City. There's the latest latest touchdown man, Tom Bush for the Iowa Hawkeyes. 5 plays, 67 yards on the scoring drive. One of the differences in this game, 2 red zone plunges for each team. Michigan State's come away with field goals, Iowa with touchdowns. Deep kickoff through the end zone. Michigan State will accept out at the 20-yard line. Today's Big Ten game is brought to you by Allstate, a proud sponsor of the Bowl Championship Series. By BMW and the BMW 3 Series with all-wheel drive. By Cooper Tires, proud to be the official tire of the Big Ten. Cooper Tires, don't give up a thing. Michigan State now in a hole big time, down by 18 with just under 11 minutes to go in the third. Drew Stanton has his work cut out for him. Jason Teague, not a whole lot there. It's out close to the 25, 24-yard line. Lubke's played a nice game on the interior, and Abdul Hodge from the linebacking core team up on the stop.
Wayne, this game gets any more out of hand score-wise. It's 24-6, as you can see. You're really going to take Drew Stanton's running ability out of the game, and he is only most effective when he is both a runner and a passer. He's not good when he's just one-dimensional.
Stoic look on the face of John L. Smith, the head coach of Michigan State. Stanton sells the pump fake, goes over the top, Trannon, and he can't quite catch up with it. Boy, it looked like he had some nice touch on that. Trannon just couldn't quite get to it. Coverage provided by Antoine Allen, but Trannon had a half step on him.
Half a step and a big receiver, and Stanton did a nice job of getting the ball with a lot of air underneath it and giving Trannon the opportunity to run underneath it. But boy, these defensive backs for Iowa, they have played an outstanding game. They have tight coverage. They've come up tackled well. They have really been a force from the secondary.
As you can see, Michigan State has struggled on third downs. That's nothing new. They were 11th in the Big Ten. 25% of third downs coming in. Stanton needs to get one here, and he's not going to. Goes down to the arms of Derek Robinson. A loss of a couple of yards back to the 21. First sack today.
When you keep Stanton in the pocket, he's a much less effective passer. And Iowa now really playing just the pass, disregarding the run, and you see the effects there.
Brandon Fields on in punt formation. It's off again, another line drive kick, but this one is deep, and I think Hinkle lost it in the sun and lets it go. Karam's inside the 20, taking a Michigan hop roll down to the 14-yard line. Michigan State head coach John L. Smith likes challenges, and this summer he scaled the heights of the tallest peak on the African continent. Beth Mowins reports when we come back to Iowa City after these messages. Menacing presence of Iowa linebacker Abdul Hodge on the sidelines at the moment as the Iowa offense is on the field. Hodge played very well with 8 tackles today. Nice young man. We got a chance to meet him and Chad Greenway. They're inseparable on and off the field, and yet they come from 2 vastly different parts of the country. Greenway from South Dakota farm country, and of course Abdul Hodge from Fort Lauderdale near Miami. First and 10 for the Iowa offense. The 20. Let's get down to Beth Mowins. Beth?
Well, guys, you talked about how Coach Smith likes to challenge his players, and what he likes to do in the offseason to prepare himself for that is to challenge himself and his family. That's why this past August he spent 6 days in Africa scaling Mount Kilimanjaro. He said he cherished the time and the challenge. And next up, he says he's looking forward to either skiing the Matterhorn in Switzerland or making a trip to Fenway Park for the playoffs with the Yankees. Guys?
Well, I think Fenway Park would be a little easier to do. Take a look at as Iowa picks up a first down here, and take a look at some of the other challenges. We mentioned Kilimanjaro, and how about barrel rolling into fighter jet? This is the toughest one. The one I would really fear would be skydiving. 14,000 feet jumping out of a plane. I don't care what's on my back. There's no way I'd do that.
Wayne, I've seen you run. Running with the Bulls would be the most dangerous for you.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, man. First and 10 for the Hawkeyes from the 30. Hinkle open underneath the coverage. Roderick Maples makes the tackle. Gain of about 7 yards on the play, maybe 8.
Wayne, I think we're really seeing the maturity of Drew Tate take effect here. He has shown great patience back at the quarterback position in the passing game. When he's scrambling around, he's letting things develop. He's growing every play in his confidence, and you're seeing that in the throws he's making.
You mentioned it early, Randy, and the coaches, Ken O'Keefe, the offensive coordinator, mentioned to us that he goes through his progressions too quickly. We're seeing him take more time as this game has gone on, as you point out.
He'll learn as he takes more time. Sometimes something that doesn't look open early becomes open when the play develops.
Powerful run right at the defense there, and a first down gain for the Iowa Hawkeyes. And the man who picks it up, of course, is Marcus Simmons, who's about the last of the healthy running backs on this roster, Andy.
Well, he is. They have really been devastated at that tailback position, and now you've got Simmons in there, as you said. We're seeing their fullbacks get a little bit more action in the running game as well.
If you missed it earlier, Jermel Lewis, after a 47-yard touchdown run, a few possessions later, suffered a knee injury. Sprained knee, will not return today. Iowa has a bye week next week. First down, Stanton. That time, I should say Drew Tate didn't get it away and was hit from behind by David Herron, the linebacker. First sack for Michigan State. Back inside the Hawkeye 40, the 35.
Michigan State's going to need something to happen, and most likely, certainly now, but most likely it's going to happen on defense. A turnover, a big play, something that changes not only the field position of the game, but the momentum of the game. And those kinds of big plays most often happen on the defensive side of the ball.
Second down and long, about 17 yards to go for the Hawkeyes. They haven't been in many of these. They've been on schedule most of the day. Tate, quick toss at the flank. Calvin Davis, quick wide receiver, makes the catch underneath the coverage. Jason Harmon got over there. Also in that play in the vicinity was Jaron Hayes.
Kirk Ferentz choosing not to do anything risky, keep the ball underneath. Like you said, it was second and long. Now we get it into a 3rd and 9, much more manageable. This seems to fit Drew Tate and his style a little bit better.
Davis, a fullback, is lined up at the, or I should say a tight end lined up at the fullback spot. Doesn't matter. A direct strike to James Townsend from Drew Tate. First down into Michigan State territory at the 48-yard line of the Spartans.
I mean, these Iowa receivers, they don't drop many passes. If you get the ball anywhere near them, they're going to come down with it. This is a nice catch by Townsend, reaching out, knows what he needs for the first down, goes a yard behind it, makes a nice catch, keeps the drive alive.
You said a strike. It was up in the zone a little bit, but you know, they're calling the high strike these days.
And you know, sometimes you swing at bad pitches.
Yep.
That was one where Townsend comes through, and certainly not an acrobatic catch, but tough catch. Ball he should have caught, and he did. And often we've seen that's been the thing that's plagued Michigan State, is the dropped passes at the wide receiver spot.
That was Tate's 8th straight completion. He is having a career day. Had a career day at Michigan last week. Ooh, they're just short.
I called it the first down, and it looked like the ball got marked short of that, and Iowa keeping their offense on the field here.
Well, if there is an opportunity to turn things around for Michigan State, you would figure it would be making a 4th down stand here. They're respotting the ball, but it's 4th and inches. Now let's see if Kirk Ferentz just wants his offense coming up to the line of scrimmage to try to draw the jumpy Spartans off sides.
We'll see if he's really going to snap this ball.
Drew Tate with some last-second instructions.
Also with the 24-6 lead, not a bad spot. Run a little play action and go for the home run.
Straight I formation backfield. Now they're just going to try to draw him off sides. The Spartans aren't budging. They got it now.
Well, they got to understand what's going on, and no reason to take a risk here if you're Kirk Ferentz. You've got a big lead, the chance to punt the ball down there, make Michigan State go the length of the field, and they haven't shown today that they can get a touchdown drive when they've had to put a long drive together.
Only the 2nd Iowa penalty of the day, and this one was planned. You know, saw the Spartans jump off sides into the neutral zone twice in this ball game. So Kirk Ferentz said, hey, why not take a shot? In the meantime, if we get penalized, David Bradley just got a little more room to work with to try to get it inside the 20. Kyle Brown back deep for Michigan State. Bradley trying to utilize the near side, and fair catch signal made, and the catch completed at the 12-yard line by Brown for Michigan State. 42-yard punt, no return. Iowa in command, just over 5 minutes to go in the third. Welcome back to Big Ten football. Sun-splashed, gorgeous, crisp, cool afternoon at Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City, Iowa. Along with Beth Mowins, Randy Wright, I'm Wayne Larrivee. Great to have you with us. Let's take a look at the marathon fast facts. Ooh, Iowa the outset. That's the worst thing that could have happened to Michigan State to start the second half.
Iowa gained that momentum the last minute of the first half, and they carried it over into the second half. And Michigan State came out and hasn't showed up yet in the second half.
Michigan State 2 3 and outs in their possessions here in the second half. Jason Teague fighting for whatever he can get here. A couple of yards out near the 15-yard line. Roth was all over that, along with Robinson. Some key plays for the Hawkeyes today.
Well, it's all been Hawkeyes, especially when you start talking about who got into the end zone. Here, Iowa starts it with the longest run of the season for the Iowa Hawkeyes. 47 yards. Jermel Lewis gets them on the board early. Tate comes up with a big touchdown pass to Hinkle, and then the last touchdown here, Bush, first touchdown of his career. Some poor tackling. It started out Iowa, and it's ended up Iowa.
Still in the third period. Ball knocked away Greenway in front of Kyle Brown. Beautiful play by the linebacker to break it up at the 25-yard line. Third and long coming up for Drew Stanton and company.
You talk about Greenway. One of the first things that sticks out in your mind is his speed, his ability to drop back and cover and gain with that speed. Look at that job, jumping in front of that ball. Nice recovery. Stanton has plenty of time. Throws a good pass. Greenway just got in there, and that's what makes Greenway what he is. He's tall, 6'4", 240 pounds, but runs very well.
3rd and 8 for an offense that struggles on third downs. Open receiver, tough catch. Did he get it? Yes, he did. Jeremy Scott, boy, and he did that on his own. That was not a good throw. Back to Mike Gleason.
And Wayne, we take you down to Tallahassee, and Chris Ricks might be relegated to the sidelines for the rest of the year. Wyatt Sexton having a pretty good game.
He's having a great game. 18 out of 27, 181 yards, 2 TDs, only 1 interception. A big play here to Crefonzo Thorpe, great wide receiver for the Seminoles.
And Ford on top of Arkansas, 38-7, Wayne.
Maybe Michigan State's opportunity to get back into the game. Penalty marker down on the tackle attempt. Deandra Cobb on the carry inside the Iowa 40-yard line to the 38. Marcus Pascal made the stop. 37-yard run.
Boy, you mentioned Michigan State picks up the first down the play before on the nice catch, and now their big running play getting DeAndre Cobb involved in the running game. And this looks like it's got to be a face mask.
I would think so.
There was nothing else around other than the tackler in on the play.
Pascal looking on.
Face mask, number 21 of the defense. 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
I think he had the wrong number there.
Yeah, I think that was Marcus Pascal. Right at the end of the play, you'll see it's got to be his right hand is going to come up and grab that right there. Doesn't twist the head. Holds on to it, though. Boy, that could have been the 15-yarder.
Sure could. Yep.
Holds on to it while he tries to punch the ball. And that very easily could have been a 15-yarder.
Michigan State trying to get back into the game. Cobb gets the call out of the shotgun, read beautifully by Babineau, who makes the tackle back outside the 35 at the 36-yard line. Jonathan Babineau with 8 tackles behind the line of scrimmage this season, Randy.
Well, he just comes down the line unblocked, and that's got to be a missed assignment, because somebody like that's lined up that close to the point of attack, it's not going to be by design that he comes through unblocked, and that was an easy tackle behind the line of scrimmage for Babineau.
Norman Parker once coordinated the defense up at Michigan State, now filling that role for Kirk Ferentz and company. Screen set up over the middle. Lando might have gone all the way with that. And the once again. Another drop pass, the 4th of the day for John L. Smith and company.
Oh, he just took his headsets off and threw them down. You don't get these kind of opportunities. And we talked earlier, the difference in this game has been Iowa's ability to catch the ball, the dropped passes by Michigan State. This was one that doesn't get any easier than that. That could have been a touchdown. That's a 4th drop today, and that's being generous. It could have been a lot more than just 4.
3rd down and long. Stanton drills it. Tipped away, incomplete. And Javon Johnson thought he should have had a pick there. He may have lost it for a moment in the sun, but he knocked it away anyway, and it's 4th down for Michigan State.
Rayner's going to try a field goal here. His long for the year is 46 yards. This one's going to be a 53-yarder if they set this up and kick this. This is going to be his longest.
Well, I mentioned he hit a 62-yarder in the spring scrimmage. 52 yards right here, as you mentioned, Randy.
Yeah, spring scrimmage, that's a lot like hitting balls on the driving
Isn't
range.
that right?
You get one chance now in game time.
Here's the snap. Rainer's kick on its way, and it is no good. He had the leg for it, but it was off to the right.
You just can't give away opportunities like Michigan State did on that drive. You have to make the plays. Jason Randall could have walked into the end zone had he held on to that ball. Drew Stanton put the ball right on the money, dropped passes, missed opportunities. That's the big difference.
We take a look at the upcoming schedules of these two teams, brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. For the best parts, people, and price, we're ready in advance. And Michigan State has Illinois coming to town, and Minnesota with a bye week, and then play at Michigan and then Ohio State. So an important stretch coming up for the Spartans, and they're to hold bowl hopes heading into November. Tate, key pass. Chandler wrapped up at the 40, well read by Jason Harmon, the defensive back on the tackle.
Well, Wayne, you take a look at Iowa's upcoming schedule. This was a huge game for them. They're off this coming week. They lost last week at Michigan in a game they felt they could have won. 5 turnovers on the offensive side. Win today, take the bye week, and then you bring Ohio State in here. They felt if they could win today and improve, which they have a great chance with the bye week going into that Ohio State game.
Got an injured Spartan down on the field. Hard to tell. Looks like one of the linemen, perhaps. Vickerson. Kevin Vickerson down. There he is. Well, the other factor with Iowa in the bye week is Jermel Lewis, who went out in the first half with what we're told was a knee sprain, will not return today. But if they can get him an extra week, maybe if there's no damage in there, they'll check it out, I'm sure, tomorrow. But they might be in a position where they could get him back and not really miss any more games.
That's an important factor considering this Iowa team came in only averaging 85 yards a game on the ground. They can't afford to lose probably their best back when they need to get that running game going, getting into the heart of the Big Ten season.
Army leading TCU, and Navy won the other night at the Air Force. Navy's playing well, but Army's lost 18 in a row, trying to snap that streak. Maybe they will today. Syracuse on top of Rutgers. Rutgers beat Michigan State. People in East Lansing are still saying, did we really lose to Rutgers? They really did.
They really did.
2nd down for Iowa. About 6 yards to go. Vickerson replaced in the lineup by Pecco. Not a whole lot there as the Hawkeyes try to run it a little bit, try to run some clock as the fullback getting the call now. Aaron Nickens, he'll carry it a little bit. Ronald Stanley made the tackle.
Boy, what a nice picture perfect tackle by Ronald Stanley. And these linebackers, we are seeing more good linebackers in this game on both sides than you will find in most games. There are several on both sides that are the heart and soul of their teams.
Hodge and Greenway for the Hawkeyes, and that man, Ronald Stanley for Michigan State. 3rd down for Iowa. Blitz coming. Hit the seam beautifully to Calvin Davis for a 1st down. And I'll tell you something, Drew Tate has delivered on almost every reasonably big play for the Hawkeyes today.
And he is just a nice nice quarterback. He's in a good rhythm, sees the blitz, has the patience, lets it develop, and then a picture-perfect strike to Calvin Davis. Wayne, we saw a couple plays ago when Michigan State had the ball, the third down. Drew Stanton throws the ball low to his receiver, made the first down, but doesn't let his receiver run with it. Could have been a big play. Here, Tate hits his man right in stride.
Got 14 yards, 10 straight completions now for Drew Tate. The fake to the running back Mickens. This one right through the hands of Scott Chandler for the tight end, the H-back. Jermel Lewis on the sidelines. He started this game. He started the scoring with a 47-yard touchdown run in the first quarter.
Well, Iowa's lost 2 running backs this year, as you alluded to earlier, Wayne, with ACL injuries. Jermel Lewis, if it is only a knee sprain, that's the best of what could have been very bad news.
Ken O'Keefe, the offensive coordinator under Kirk Ferentz here at Iowa. Coaching staff has been largely intact. The coordinators have been with them all along. And Stanley, who was shaken up earlier in the ball game in return, heads off with some assistance here. Not sure if there's a medical problem or if they just wanted to switch up personnel. Hard to believe they would take him off the field unless they had to.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's probably going to have to get something checked, and we'll see how quickly he can return.
Now Tate, as they approach the line of scrimmage, needs a timeout with 1:43 to go in this third quarter. So the Hawkeyes exercise their first timeout of the second half. And it gives us an opportunity to step back to the studio and Mike Gleason. Mike.
Well, Wayne, Rich Rodriguez, West Virginia, needed a big play, and they got one here thanks to the defense. You can also thank Randall. Scrambling, then throws back across the field, and it's picked by the Mountaineers. They take it in. Eric West takes it in for the touchdown. They went for 2, Wayne. They missed it at 16-6.
All right, thank you, Mike. And take a look at the coaches' poll. West Virginia in the top 10, playing in the rain today. And that might be their toughest opponent, because
well, certainly the rest of the way.
Yeah,
I think it
exactly.
would be.
And as you can see, Ohio State representing the Big Ten in the top 10 right now. But there are a lot of teams at the top of the Big Ten that have new quarterbacks and are transitioning a little bit. I think you're going to see a few of them pop up there. Michigan looks like they're getting their act together very quickly. Minnesota's an excellent team running the football.
I think if you look at Kyle Orton, who is, in my opinion, the best quarterback in the Big Ten, on the team that may be playing the best. Other than that, of the teams that have the new quarterbacks this year, whichever quarterback steps up quickest, I think has the absolute best chance to challenge Purdue.
Tate is 23 of 32, 319 yards passing. Little comeback screened. Ed Hinkle. Hinkle into traffic inside the Michigan State 40. Iowa has kept the Michigan State defense, Randy, on its heels with an assortment of short passing.
Well, I think they know that's been what they've tried to do with Tate. I think with Michigan State coming with their pressure, it's a way that they can dictate the speed of the game, which they wanted to, and they're trying to get the ball into the hands of their outside playmakers, especially with their running game suffering as much as it has.
Third down at about 2. Tate, open receiver in the deep seam. Hammered on the play was Davis, but he hangs on for a first down. At the Michigan State 25-yard line, Eric Smith delivered the blow 13 yards downfield.
Boy, another good shot by Tate. Nice job, though, by Davis coming off the line of scrimmage. Press coverage there, comes off the line of scrimmage cleanly, and then catches that ball. And you can tell this is an emotional kid. We saw that yesterday when we talked to him. Doesn't like being in front of the camera. Doesn't like doing the interviews. But he likes to get out there and let it hang out on the field.
He's a lot different on the field than he is in person, I tell you that. First out of the 25. Simmons out of Davenport, Iowa. Inside the 20-yard line. Marcus Simmons, if Jermel Lewis can't return anytime soon, will become the lead running back for the Hawkeyes. He's out of North High School in Davenport, Iowa. His dad, Clancy, is the Davenport Central High School principal. Time now for the Red Roof Inn. Red Roof proficiency. Save at Red Roof Inns with Red's Hot Deals. Special discounts you only get online, redroof.com. 2 for 2 touchdowns. And when we come back, Iowa will be on the attack in the red zone once again. They have not been denied when getting that deep into Michigan State territory yet today. Fourth quarter coming up with the Hawkeyes on top. Homecoming weekend at Iowa City. Leading by 18 and asking for more against Chris Smealin's Michigan State defense. His second season as defensive coordinator under John L. Smith. Drew Tate has thrown for over 300 yards. First time for Iowa since John Butcher, who's now the quarterback at Illinois, did it back September 30, 2000 at Indiana.
Wayne Tate's had third time this year where he's thrown 10 completions in a row.
Simmons gets the first down as the Hawkeyes are wearing out the Michigan State defense. Tyrell Dorsch forced him out of bounds.
So back to that point, like you said, over 300 yards passing for Tate in the third time this season. Just the fifth game, he's had 10 in a row. Pretty doggone good for any quarterback, much less kid starting for the first time.
Says something about his accuracy.
And even though there are a lot of short passes, he's been able to get the ball there, and that's kind of the offense that they're going to. That's what they've had to run.
I'll tell you what he throws the best, it looks like to me, is the seam pass.
Throws very well on the run as well.
Simmons smells the end zone down to the 1. Should be a first and goal, and the Iowa offensive line beginning to crank it up. Jason Harmon made the stop.
Wayne, a few minutes ago when we came back from this break, your comment, Iowa's got 24 points, asking for more. They're not asking anybody. They're taking this. And look at that line come off the ball. Simmons is running downhill, a lot of momentum, and this offensive line is taking over, and they aren't asking anything. They're just taking it.
So first down and goal to go inside the 1. Simmons, the tailback. Motion from the tight end, Majerus. Let Simmons finish it. Touchdown! Marquez Simmons, the junior out of Davenport, a transfer from Nebraska. Played on a very poor high school football team, but the coaches here at Iowa told us he ran extremely hard every play.
That's a good point. That was the selling point, is somebody that didn't have a lot of success as a team, gave 100% every play. That's the kind of heart they wanted on their team. He gets his first touchdown of the year.
Schlicker, the extra point, is good. Opening minute, fourth quarter. The Iowa Hawkeyes open a 31-6 lead. Marcus Simmons out of North High School in Davenport, Iowa, celebrates his first Hawkeye touchdown. Rolling, and the mosh pit is celebrating. Opening minute, fourth quarter. Schlicker, the kickoff. DeAndre Cobb comes up short. Cobb makes the catch inside the 10. It opens up for him across the 35. Time now for the BMW Ultimate Drive of the game. Randy?
Well, here was this last drive by Iowa. The nice catch here by Davis, and then the hit, but hangs onto the ball. You see Tate's excitement, and then it gets finished off here by Marcus Simmons. His first touchdown, and very nice drive, as you often say, to put the dagger right into the heart.
I think the dagger was delivered a little bit earlier. That was just one for good measure.
Just deeper this time.
Yeah. Huh? From the 37 on first down. Colquitt. J.U. Colquitt, listed out of Findlay Lake, New York, but his trail to Michigan State was circuitous at best. Originally from Liberia, his family escaped that war and torn country a number of years ago, and Colquitt now getting an education at Michigan State, playing some college football. Well, a little miscommunication in the backfield, and Drew Stanton was left there all alone, and he gets about a yard out to the 41-yard line. Colquitt's a kid they really like, but again, he's also a little bit raw in terms of polish right now. He's a redshirt freshman, and they really like what he was able to do. He's got a great deal of natural ability. 4.5 in the 40 at 240 pounds. He has big play potential, but again, just developing right now.
Big play, but green. He's a spot player where they just can put him in there in certain situations, and obviously that will improve as his experience. But you're right, they got a lot of high hopes for him.
Jason Teague, and they set up that screen play very nicely. Out close to the midfield marker at the 49-yard line of Michigan State. Lupke over from the defensive line to make the stop on Jason Teague, who's holding that left arm a little funny. Lost him.
Wayne, this is a point of a game. You're down 31-6 like this, and Drew Stanton has just in the last game and a half coming into this one started to get a rhythm and some stability at the quarterback position. This offense needs to continue to develop that stability, stay within itself, build on what you can for the rest of the season. Don't just go out there and get outside of what your personality is and try and do something crazy. They still need to work on their basics.
On the spread, quick toss, not enough for the first down there to Terry Glove. To Mike Gleason in the studio.
Wayne, at halftime, we told you Oklahoma's Jason White tied Josh Heupel with his 53rd touchdown pass. Here's number 54, although it looks like J.D. Reynolds does most of the work with the stiff arm. It's 21-6 Oklahoma. Coop?
Yeah, and Bobby Bowden down in Tallahassee is not going to be real happy with the way his defense has played. He's given up 16 points so far today.
Yeah, well, they've gotten production. My goodness. It doesn't matter who plays quarterback for Florida State. I don't think so, based on what we're seeing today. Doesn't matter. They're all good. They're all good. First down yardage gain here by DeAndre Cobb. Abdul Hodge makes the tackle for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
How come Gleason always giving credit to the guys that score the touchdown? I mean, the quarterback read the defense, threw the ball right on the money. How the back had to get a stiff arm, little defensive back like that?
But it was an impressive stiff arm. Walter Payton type stiff arm there at the end of that play.
I'm sure there's a lot of comparison between him and Walter Payton. He may be the only one to do
the
that.
only one. And only on that play. First down. Trennan. Javon Johnson until he got help. Jet Greenway came flying at him along with Miguel Merrick. Merrick has played very well today. Purdue Notre Dame is underway. That'll be an interesting ball game, Drew. I was going to say Kyle Orton will be able to make stake a claim for the Heisman in that high-profile game.
Boy, big game. He's already risen that ladder quickly, and if he could take another giant step today, if Purdue beats Notre Dame up in South Bend, that would do wonders for his chance.
One of those exposure games where you as a Heisman candidate have to really show well.
You have to be the difference, and you don't get a lot of opportunities to do that, and this is an early season game where he does, and things have gone so well for them early. This is a good test.
Brian Madison knocks down that pass. Third down for Michigan State.
When you often tell how a team plays by the way they do the little things, and I am so impressed with Iowa, the way they tackle in their secondary, and the way their receivers hang on to the football.
One of the subtle keys to this game here today has been the way the Hawkeyes have tackled in the secondary. And they snuff out the quarterback keeper. Stanton showing a little power at the end of that run as he picks up yardage down to the 31-yard line short of the first down. Fourth down coming up. Kinnick Stadium, Iowa City, Iowa. Big Ten football featuring Michigan State and the Iowa Hawkeyes. It's homecoming here in Iowa City. Beth Mowins on the sidelines. I'm Wayne Larrivee alongside of Randy Wright and our entire ESPN Plus crew. Jeff Nelson on stats. Pat Tomka is our spotter today, provided by the University of Iowa. Fourth down for Michigan State. About a yard and a half to go. High pass, tough catch. Wrap up made immediately, but it should be enough for the first down. Jeremy Scott, Pascal on the tackle for Iowa.
Well, it seems whenever Michigan State has needed a key third down, or in this case, a fourth down conversion, they've gone to Jeremy Scott, generally over the middle. Spread that Iowa defense out. They see its man. They know Iowa's coming with pressure, and Jeremy Scott's been the one receiver that seems to have responded today.
First and 10. DeAndre Cobb. Haskell makes the tackle, and it might have been a touchdown-saving tackle, although it looked like Merrick downfield had an angle as well on it. And it's enough for the first down for Michigan State, so a gain of about 11 yards.
DeAndre Cobb was a back that came into this game really kind of going down the depth chart. He had only come in with 14 carries. They really liked J.U. Cold Creek, but yet it's Cobb that seems to give a little bit of a spark here in this game, and he's more of a situational back, a speed guy that really seems to be having some success.
First and 10, Michigan State. Inside of 10 minutes to go for the game. Iowa in command. Cobb bouncing to the outside. Greenway missed him, but Antoine Allen did not. Storyline, Randy, all Iowa, isn't it?
Oh, it's all Iowa. It's on the ground. It's in the air. It's Drew Tate, and it's a number of guys. You take a look. This is how the Hawkeyes got started. Jamel Lewis breaking some tackles. Then it's speed and outruns Michigan State into the end zone. Tate with one of his finer plays of the day. Now it's Bush with his first touchdown of his career, breaking tackles and getting in there. And the last one, Simmons, also scoring his first touchdown. And that was far too easy for the Hawkeyes.
12th play of the drive for Michigan State. Not off his hands on an over-the-shoulder attempt, and he had a step on Greenway. Eric Knott, the senior out of Detroit. That's what, about 5 drop passes for Michigan State today.
Well, yeah, you could call this a drop, but you need to put a little air under this pass. Tight ends got those big shoulder pads, hard to get those arms up there, but yeah, that was a catchable ball. Little air under it would have made it a little softer catch, a little easier to adjust to it. Still a catchable ball.
Third down for Michigan State. Iowa coming on the blitz. Little screen pass out to Jason Teague to the 10. Hurdles to the 5. He's got a first and goal just inside the Iowa 5-yard line. Penalty marker down to the play.
Penalty marker on the field.
Penalty marker down on the flank of that play on the near side. Wonder if it might be for a hold.
Holding, number 79, offense. 10-yard penalty, previous spot, repeat. Third down.
First Michigan State penalty since the first quarter. Only their 3rd penalty of the day, Randy.
Been a pretty well played, clean played game in terms of penalties. More face masks than anything, I think, which is usually inadvertent.
Well, climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, was it this tough? No. This is a pretty tough day for a head football coach, John L. Smith. What a great engaging personality. John L. Smith has done a tremendous job wherever he's spent in his coaching career. Utah, Louisville, now Michigan State. Third down and long. Stanton trying to thread the needle to a well-covered Jason Teague. And Abdul Hodge was in his shirt at the 20-yard line. It's 4th down for Michigan State.
Well, you don't think of Abdul Hodge as a great cover linebacker. Generally, he's your plugger, your guy that steps up and fills against the run. But this is picture-perfect coverage there. Had great position. Makes a nice play. Most middle linebackers don't stay in the game when your defense goes to nickel. They usually put in your DBs and take out the middle linebacker, leaving the outside backers. Not Iowa. They keep Hodge on the field.
Field goal try is good by Dave Rayner, capping a 14-play drive. Michigan State has had drives of 15, 15, and 14 plays, all of which have led to field goals. For John L. Smith, his team has had long drives, but they've all resulted in field goals rather than touchdowns. Here's the latest 42-yarder by Dave Rayner, who's getting on track. He had some ups and downs earlier in the season, but seems to be kicking the ball very well. Rayner will kick off here. Oh, it's not Rayner. It's an onside kick and recovered by Michigan State. And where was the recovery made? Was it made inside the 45? Apparently it was.
This
first touching.
A down ball here. You're right.
Today's Big Ten game is brought to you by and we'll tell you in just a moment. We'll get to that in just a moment. That kick did not go the requisite 10 yards when the first touch was made. So Kirk Ferentz and company get the football to the 43-yard line of Michigan State. Well, John Ells tried to pull out the stops. Stops haven't gotten him back into the game. Motion from Majerus, the tight end. The handoff to the fullback Mickens. Mickens kind of plows forward. I got a feeling as long as Jermel Lewis is out, Marcus Simmons is going to get some frontline carries, but these fullbacks are going to have to carry the load a little bit too on the ground, and they've done it today.
Well, especially in a game that's 31-9, you're going to try and protect Marcus Simmons a little bit, and in a game where you don't really need him to be a factor, let those fullbacks carry the ball and run down this clock a little bit.
But if I'm Marcus Simmons, I'm saying, give me the ball. I'm a junior. I need some carries, coach.
I got a lot of time to make up for here.
Yes, I'm making up for a lot of time. Hinkle's at the top of your screen, everybody else tight. Again, Majerus in motion. Here comes Simmons. Inside the 40. Let's get back to the studio. Mike Gleason. Mike?
Well, Wayne, West Virginia trying to hold on desperately to that undefeated record against Virginia Tech. Rasheed Marshall only 79 yards passing today, but 74 on the ground, 46 right here. And it's 19-13. Tech on top of the Mountaineers. Wayne?
Mountaineers on the comeback. We'll keep an eye on that one for you. Plenty of time left. Boy, it's so hard to go through a campaign undefeated, you know what I mean? Especially when you play a road game in Blacksburg.
The parity in college football has been great to watch and be a part of for the last several years. You see it this year, maybe more than in the recent history in the Big Ten. A lot of teams feel they have a shot at the Big Ten title.
And got a timeout taken by Iowa as they got up to the line of scrimmage. 7:17 left to go. The Hawkeyes in command here in this homecoming weekend. For Iowa, 92. This is the 93rd homecoming game, and it has been a beautiful sun-splashed afternoon for Big Ten football in Iowa City. Today's Big Ten game is brought to you by Citgo, fueling the greatest of American sports. By Guinness Draft Stout. Drink responsibly. Brilliant. By Red Roof Inns. Save at Red Roof Inns with Red's hot deals and special discounts you only get online at redroof.com. And by Yamaha, makers of cutting-edge motorcycles and tough-as-nails ATVs. Nobody's more in tune with motorsports than Yamaha. Told you we'd get that in.
You were right. We really did have sponsors.
Here we go. Third down coming up. The Iowa offense. Boy, it's been a good day for Kirk Ferentz and company. Earlier, the media was asking Coach Ferentz, you know, is this a must-win? I mean, think about your schedule and bowl hopes and all that. And it certainly, from the outside looking in, was a must-win. Kirk would not tag it a must-win, but his team has played like it was a must-win.
Because of when this game came, right after the 2 losses in a row, when they played poorly on offense against Michigan, but actually probably well enough on defense to beat them. They had the 5 turnovers. This was a game against a team they felt they were better than. They needed to come out and have a good, solid performance and win, not only win the game, but the way they are dominating it today.
Blitz coming over the top. Pass just barely overthrown to James Townsend. So it is 4th down for the Hawkeyes, who have 104 rushing yards. And, of course, we've been talking about and dwelling on the passing statistics, 340 yards passing for Drew Tate. But quietly, the ground game has been effective here today when you consider Iowa came in last in the conference in yards per game rushing at 85 a contest.
Well, they finally got a big play on the ground that they hadn't had all season.
Trying to pop it up inside the 10-yard line. Done it even better than that, inside the 5.
They may rule that this hit a Michigan State player.
Indeed they did. So not only will they get the Spartans pinned, but Iowa's offense will be back on the field, pinning the Spartan defense up against the goal line. My goodness.
Well, this is the thing that drives the coach crazy. It's the sloppy play Well, you saw it hit the Iowa player there, number 10, Bellis. Take another look and see if we can see it. Oh, it hit the Michigan State player on the way down. I think that was Heron, 41.
Yep.
Hits him on the way down, ricochets into a Iowa player. But these are the kind of things that drive a coach crazy. That's what happens when you have a young team. It's hard to keep them focused. It's hard to get them up. Without some of the senior leadership, when things go against you, it can snowball, and that's what's happened to Michigan State today.
First Michigan State turnover. Tate on the rollout. Wanted to go to the end zone with the pass. Back line to the end zone, trying to hit Majerus. The pass just barely overthrown.
The game, that's so misleading. You look at the turnovers, and the team that wins the turnover battle wins 90% of the time.
Sanders, the tail of the tandem on second down and goal to go at the 2. Majerus, the tight end, again in motion. Simmons fighting for the end zone. Touchdown. So Marcus Simmons, his second touchdown of the day. The turnover on the punt by Michigan State is cashed by the Hawkeyes for 7, or at least 6 to this point.
Wait, I go back to the last minute of the first half when Michigan State clearly had the momentum. They had 2 nice drives together, had gotten within 14-6, and they gave that momentum away the last minute of that first half and never have regained it.
They called a timeout prior to scoring a field goal. They called a timeout, and then on the squid kick, Iowa returned inside Michigan State territory and got the 3 points back right away. Hawkeye's been rolling since. Been a banner day for Drew Tate on this 93rd homecoming weekend in Iowa football history for almost 400 yards. Hawkeyes going to have to get much of their yardage, much of their production through the air. Deandra Cobb from the 8. And the coverage have been very good on special teams. Penalty markers all over this one. Maybe going against Michigan State for an illegal block.
You know, if you're going to block in the back, don't do it right in front of the ball carrier, because that's where everybody
During the
sees.
return, illegal block in the back. Number 5 of the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. First stop.
So while we have a moment, time for the sit-go player of the game. Guess who?
Boy, take a look at that. 340 yards, the 1 interception, to 25 for 36, and at least 3 drops that I can think of.
First down. You guys never forget the drops, do you? No matter how good a day you're having a quarterback, you guys never forget the drops.
There's never a reason for it. There's never an excuse. 2 hands, 1 ball, catch the ball.
What about the interceptions?
Oh, you know what?
They're
the
forced,
receiver
right?
ran the wrong route.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why you guys are quarterbacks. Stanton lets it go on the sidelines. Penalty marker down. Penalty marker down as Jeremy Scott makes the reception. Tyler Bergen makes the stop on the near side. Haven't been many flags here today. This has been pretty clean for both these teams.
Offside, number 31 of the defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first stop.
Iowa came in with the most penalties, 37 in the first 4 games of the season. Most penalties in the Big Ten. They've been good today. So, as they move it forward with this penalty against Iowa, with the 7th penalty between the 2 teams here today. First down and 5 for Michigan State. Stanton over the top. Overshot everybody into the Iowa bench, where Drew Tate is enjoying his day. Look at what he did on the field.
Wayne, I really think we saw the development of a young quarterback today. Really, what I like is he's running this offense the way Kirk Ferentz wants him to. He's staying inside of what the game plan is, not trying to do too much, not trying to make something out of nothing. This is an offense that's built around timing, and with him at the quarterback position, with his ability to do so many things, that's so vital. You don't try and force things and make things happen. Victim of that earlier, not this game. Really grew up today as a quarterback.
Scott shakes one defender and another. It's out across the 20-yard line where he's got a Michigan State first down near the 21. Mike Klinkenberg put him away. Let's take a look at the Cooper Tire Defensive Player of the Game. And this sophomore, and this was concern for Norm Parker and the Iowa defensive coaches, the two sophomore safeties, Pascal and Miguel Merrick, and Merrick stepped up big time. Career high 13 tackles.
Boy, Norm Parker is going to sleep better tonight knowing that he's got a guy that stepped up back there. Two sophomore safeties, and Merrick really has played well.
Soft coverage on the receivers now as Iowa just keeps everything in front of them. And we're inside of 7 minutes to go for the game. Adam Shada forced out Jeremy Scott.
One of the concerns Iowa had defensively was Michigan State uses so many formations, so many motions, that those safeties who make the calls are going to put their team in a bad position, and you're going to see busted coverages. Didn't see any of that today. Their quarterbacks on defense, the safeties, did a nice job putting their team in the right spot.
This is a called play as Stanton picks up some yardage for a first down out to the 45-yard line. So first down and a gain of about 12 yards.
These are two quarterbacks, as we've talked about often today, very similar in their styles, similar in their approach. Stanton much bigger at 6'3", 225, but both being sophomores, they're going to see a lot of each other the next couple of years.
Yes, they are. Nice throw there. The receiver hadn't even turned for it. Makes the reception. That's Aaron Alexander. Walner Bellis on the stop as Iowa gets some of their backup personnel out on the field, leading 38-9 at this juncture.
Wayne, one of the differences, I think, between Tate and Stanton, Tate knew he was the starting quarterback coming into this season. He got all the reps, all the turns in practice and fall camp, and you see the confidence he has. Drew Stanton has really shared and had to earn that position as the season has gone on, and his development is going to be a little bit slower because he just now is feeling the commitment from the coaches.
Just 2 weeks ago, he got his shot, took over, stepped up. Nice comeback win last week at Indiana, and he is going to be the quarterback here at Michigan State. Today's game notwithstanding.
Well, I think he's got all the tools to run this kind of an offense. He's a very good spread offense kind of quarterback because he sees things, he lets things develop, and he's awfully good on his feet.
Stanton buying some time, now takes it on the run. And still on his feet. Takes a hit out of bounds into the Iowa bench inside the 35-yard line. Good hands make all the difference. Brought to you by Allstate, a proud sponsor of the Bowl Championship Series. And this guy, Ed Hinkle, has two of the best hands in the Big Ten. You know, the thing Hinkle was mentioning is the fact that he doesn't have big hands. However, he makes fingertip catches. Not there, Stanton, or I should say Drew Tate delivered the ball right on the money. But he said, I'm always looking for medium-sized gloves. And in the locker room, they don't have those. It's hard to find medium-sized gloves. He doesn't have the biggest hands, but he might have the best hands of the Big Ten at wide receiver.
He certainly makes his share of outstanding highlight reel catches.
And you talk about highlight reel catches. Well, how about earlier this season? This is against the arch rival Iowa State Cyclones. How about that one? And last week at Michigan, you think that's good? How about this? Oh, man.
Boy, take a look again as he pulls that, gets that that foot in, and just now starting to really come into his own.
Knott is hammered out of bounds inside the 10. It'll be first down and goal. On that last catch at Michigan, Randy, they replayed that just to look at it again. That was such a good catch. The advisor upstairs, the technical advisor said, let's look at that one again.
Well, you talk about last week, his 7 receptions for 89 yards, 2 TDs, a 35-yarder last week. All were career highs for him. And the coaches were saying, we need him to step forward. We need somebody to be the guy, not just make the great catch, but be a go-to guy. And he is stepping up and becoming that go-to guy.
Jason Teague reaching for the pylon. They're going to rule him down inside the 1. Michigan State trying going for its first touchdown of the day. Bergen and Shada. Adam Shada, number 19, is an interesting story for the Hawkeyes. Playing at cornerback, was a Ballyhooed recruit out of Omaha, Nebraska. Suffered a torn labrum in his shoulder his senior year, and developed a blood clot in his lung, and overcame several procedures to solve that medical problem. Matter of fact, that blood clot situation was dire. Stanton trying for the end zone, and it's incomplete. Hawkeyes all over it. Jason Randall, the intended receiver. Javon Johnson had the coverage. But Adam Shada, as he accepted a scholarship to Iowa early in his senior year, suffered the injury, and then was amazed that Kirk Ferentz and the Iowa staff stayed in touch, said, your scholarship is good whether you can play football or not. That's kind of integrity they have in this program and this coaching staff. And of course, he worked hard at rehabbing. The medical people did their job, and he's back on the field now as a redshirt freshman. Quarterback keeper, Stanton's got the first touchdown of the day for Michigan State. For Spartan fans, however, too little, too late.
Too little, too late for this game, but nice to see them put something together and get the ball into the end zone. Didn't look like they were playing with all of their heart in that third quarter and fourth quarter as Iowa continued to march down the field. Offensively, Michigan State took this drive and put their heart back into the game. Another
Drive, the fourth of the day, of 10 plays or more for Michigan State, but this is the only one that results in a touchdown. Dave Rayner, for the point after, and he's got it right down the boulevard. So Michigan State, 92 yards in 12 plays. Good drive for John L. Smith and company. And it's first down coming up for Michigan State. Well executed. Ashton Watson on the recovery. This is how you do it.
Boy, even though you know what's coming, when you get that ball to take those funny bounces and you kick it that way, you know it's going to be that key second bounce that you just count on. Here you see the kick coming. It's that second bounce right there. You just hope it goes haywire and it gives your guys the position to do it. So even though Iowa knows it's going there, not much they can do to stop it.
So it'll be Michigan State near the midfield marker at the 49-yard line. Stanton, comeback screenplay. Trannon with some blocking. Trannon motoring inside the 30-yard line. And we go to the sidelines and Beth Mowins. Beth?
Well, guys, one of the big reasons Iowa's been able to push around Michigan State a little bit today is that man right there, their strength and conditioning coach, Chris Doyle, who has a knack for pumping up the Hawkeyes. He's improved their bulk, he's improved their agility, and the players love it because it's always fun and competitive. Here are two of his more recognizable projects who are now in the NFL. Both were high draft choices this past year. Robert Gallery, the offensive lineman, and Bob Sanders, the defensive back. Doyle took them from youngsters as freshmen, and look what he did over the course of their careers. They left here much bigger and much better than they arrived. And guys, the players see those kind of results, and they really rave about the impact that Doyle has had on this program.
Some of the games he does, Beth, as we were told yesterday, a little unusual, strange games. He comes up with something new every year, and the players, as you mentioned, they love him. And they recognize right away, as Kirk Ferentz told us, that when they see a guy like that who they think can help them out, boy, they'll follow him anywhere. And he's done a great job here at Iowa. Stanton just throws this one away. Back to Mike Gleason to the studio. Mike?
Wayne, probably the most compelling matchup. Wake Forest, NC State, they went to overtime. Wake missed the field goal. Didn't matter. T.A. McClendon gets the game winner. And 29 carries, 128 yards for T.A. NC State wins it again. Arkansas made a little run, but Chris Leak throws his third touchdown. 45-30 in the Swamp. It's the Gators, Wayne.
Chris Leak is pretty darn good. No question about that. And that victory. Kinnick Stadium, Iowa City, Iowa. 93rd homecoming weekend. Wayne Larrivee, Randy Wright, Beth Mowins. Michigan State facing a third down here. Stanton puts some touch onto this one. His receiver went up to get it, and it's a first and goal as a result. Terry Love has had an outstanding outstanding afternoon here today, despite the score. Miguel Merrick made the stop. Love, a redshirt freshman out of Bellwood, Illinois. His first catches of his career. He's had a big day.
He has, and for a position that has been a problem for the Spartans, a position they thought would be a strength coming into this season has not been because of the dropped balls. None of those receivers have really stepped up, and Terry Love, as you said, a redshirt freshman, has been one of the few bright spots today.
Number 79, offense. 5-yard penalty. He needs first down.
Well, Terry Love had 6 catches at halftime for 68 yards and just added 26 a moment ago. Now the penalty backs him up a little bit.
And John L. Smith is still building a program here at Michigan State, Wayne. Just his second year, even with the success last year, not nearly as established as a Kirk Ferentz program. So he's looking for these young players who can step up and be a part of it for years to come. And Terry Love looks like he's going to be one of them.
Pass thrown behind Aaron Alexander. Yeah, Love today, 9 catches, 103 yards, Randy. Redshirt freshman. We're going to see a lot of him in the years to come.
We saw some drops earlier in this game, which hurt Drew Stanton and the Michigan State offense, and Love got a chance to step up and play, and when he made some catches early, they kept him in there.
Under 4 minutes to go. Jason Teague. 51 pass attempts by Stanton, so he finally had to hand it off. But just to get a yard or two down to the near the 5-yard line, and it'll be 3rd down and goal to go coming up. And we have a timeout on the field. 3:12 left to go. Iowa's been in command since the first quarter. 2 on the season, 1-1 in Big Ten play. Michigan State deep in Iowa territory once again. Oh, tough catch, a high pass at a fastball as he tried to hit his favorite receiver today, Terry Love, and Love could not quite climb the ladder for that one.
Take a look at the Purdue Boilermakers.
Kyle Orton.
So much trouble in South Bend over the last 25 years.
It's been that long, hasn't it, since they've won at South Bend? I was reading that. Hard to believe, isn't it?
This may be, even though they had the Drew Brees era, this may be the best Purdue team to go up there in a while.
Eric Knott, the tight end, in motion. On 4th down, Stanton into the end zone, broken up nicely. And you know, you just figured that it's poetic justice that it would be one of those sophomore safeties to break it up. Marcus Pascal denies Michigan State on what might be the final offensive salvo of the afternoon for the Spartans.
Well, those safeties have played well. We talked about Merrick being our defensive player of the game, and Pascal here sees this, jumps right on it, times his hit up perfectly. Nice play. Both of these guys have gained such valuable experience today, playing against maybe the most complex offensive team, a possible exception of Purdue. But Purdue doesn't use as many shifts and as many motions. They pretty much stay set in their spread offense. Michigan State tries to confuse you.
So the Hawkeyes will try to run out the final 3:05. And running has not been a strength of this football team, but we'll see what happens here. They go to the fullback, Mickens, out to the 10-yard line on a gain of about 4 yards. 38-16, the Iowa Hawkeyes. Eric Smith makes the stop there. They jumped on top 14-0. In the first quarter, Michigan State put together a couple of long drives, but instead of resulting in touchdowns, they resulted in field goals. And Randy, I think the point you made earlier this afternoon, time of possession is a wonderful statistic, but when you're not scoring touchdowns at the end of those possessions, it becomes a statistic that belies reality in terms of winning and losing the game.
I think it's the most misleading statistic that is kept.
Simmons has had a nice day today in relief of Jermel Lewis, who went out with a bruised knee. And as you take a look at it, this will be updated after today's game. Iowa gets to 3-2 overall, 1-1 in Big Ten play. Indiana Northwestern next week. Northwestern played an aggressive non-conference campaign.
They did. They
at TCU.
They gave Minnesota a battle up there in the Dome
Yes,
last
they did.
week, too. Got their quarterback banged up, but he should be okay and be playing today.
Bazinet expected to be back. Drew Tate on his own. Got a first down and wanted to stay in bounds. I believe he did. But it is a first down. Ohio State and Northwestern coming up tonight. And as you take a look at that, Ohio State, it's been a long time since the Wildcats have beaten the Buckeyes. But there's always a first time in a while, and they'll play at Evanston tonight in a night game.
Boy, Ohio State's still a hard team to figure out. A young quarterback in there, but one of the more talented ones in Zwick. As you see, Drew Tate getting a little break here.
Jason Manson in at quarterback for Iowa. And I think Kirk Ferentz did a nice thing there. Let Drew Tate hear some of the appreciation of the crowd here. That ball came loose, but the official had whistled the play dead. So we're coming up on a minute left to go in this one. Here's a look at Jason Manson getting an opportunity. Manson followed Jermel Lewis from Bloomfield, Connecticut, out here to Iowa City, Iowa. Well, like we said, hopefully Iowa gets a bye week next week before they welcome Ohio State to town. And hopefully in that span of time, Jermel Lewis will return to health and be back on the field for the Hawkeyes. I'm sure they'll do some testing tomorrow on that knee and make sure everything's okay. And if not, they'll go with Marcus Simmons. Boy, nice strong carry there by Mickens. Time winding down to this one, and that will do it. Drew Tate, career day for him. 25 of 36, over 340 yards, a touchdown and a pick, leading the Iowa Hawkeyes to a convincing 38-16 victory over the Michigan State Spartans. For Randy Wright, Beth Mowins, Wayne Larrabee saying so long from Iowa City, Iowa. 38-16 the final. Let's go to the ESPN Plus College Game Day studio presented by Phillips 66.
All right, thanks a lot.